Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of iDepth. I am Youssef, joined as always by my good man Jonno,
Hello, that's me. I'm a good man.
and special guest. And our special guest for tonight is none other than IESF representative for Australian Tekken for 2018, Dion Gray. Dion, how we doing?
Hi everyone.
Can you please be a bit more excited?
Do you have any other acronyms we should throw? Like, because you're an accomplished Tekken player, so do you have any other acronyms we got to throw before your name?
That's it.
No.
Just
Dion.
Dion.
IESF.
Un-
Dion is
unsponsored Dion.
Yeah.
Someone should sponsor this man.
Someone should sponsor.
Someone
this,
should
man.
sponsor this man.
But before we get into that, we're going to talk about Dion. We're going to talk about your history. We're going to talk about the Tekken World Tour Finals that went down last weekend. But before we get into that, a little bit of housekeeping. For those of you watching live, you may know we've finally, thanks to you all, we've got affiliates. So if you're watching live, you can finally adjust your quality
Resolution settings if you're a peasant.
Yeah, if you're on like Potato Internet, we got you covered. Don't sub. We don't have a what are they called? Emoticon. If you have any suggestions, just let us know. But you know, at this stage, you know, you can get a face of Youssef on Battlecat, Bunker, and me on the console. So I don't know. If you have any suggestions about emotes, we got that. But thanks to you, we got the quality options, which is all we wanted. So that's good to know. So I suppose we should get into it because there's a whole lot of Tekken talk we've got to get into.
We're gonna be. Tonight's episode is very Tekken focused.
It's gonna be very Tekken focused.
If
So
you
we'll
guys
smash
have
the
any
rest of it.
questions you wanna throw at us, you know, myself or Dion or Jonno,
We've all got the chat open.
Yeah, we got the chat open.
Yeah,
But
there's
you
a
know,
Youssef
as
in one
always,
on
some
BKB.
housekeeping. So it's gonna go through some news, some results, and then we'll get in the thick of it.
All right, so let's just smash through some news real quick. Fighting EX Laters come to Steam. There was a patch with it. Some stuff happened. I don't know. It's a good game. I think it's on sale at the moment. That's just PSA for people who want it. You know, it's on Steam. If you want to play someone, I'm pretty sure Marty Ken still plays it. So there's at least one person in Australia you can play with. Just want to give it a quick shout out. In other non-Tekken news, we've got. I believe it was last Wednesday. The Dragon Ball Fighters Balance patch came out. Which had some little bits here and there, like it destroyed Bardock in 16, and
I don't. He's apparently Bardock still gets set up after level 3.
you
Except
reckon?
it's just harder now. But
Oh.
I don't know. Bardock, as long as Bardock has that lariat, like he's annoying. Like he just he doesn't need to play neutral. He just.
What I will say about this patch, though, is I like that it's very clear that they're doing these incremental patches. They're kind of tiptoeing around big system changes in anticipation of a season 2. Like they haven't touched Spark.
They're not doing anything major. Yeah.
They're tiptoeing around.
I think
it, and
it's
that's a
fine.
good
I
approach.
think that's fine. It's nothing too major like an NRS patch.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Kazunoko won another Dragon Ball. He now has 3 of them. He's engaged. I can't remember if we touched that last time. That's a good ass top 8. You should watch it.
Yeah.
He deletes everybody, and
His
his team didn't get touched.
is.
Okay. So Baxter, who actually plays the game, says Bardock's still top 16, still strong, just not top 3.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we should get a Dragon Ball person on at some point. But anyway, Kazunoko
Is
has
there
all
any
the
Dragon Ball
balls.
players in Sydney?
I know at least one, and he's in the chat, and he said Bardock is still top tier 16. It's Baxter.
Oh, it's Baxter.
in the chat. So Kazunoko has all the balls, which means they're going to run 3. I'm pretty sure they're last chance qualifiers, but they've opened up 3 additional spots for the
Are
World
they
Tour
going to do
Finals.
it's going to be 3 different tournaments,
I
or just
think
one
so.
tournament and top 3 win?
I think it's 3 different tournaments,
Oh,
like
word.
they did with the Tekken. Was it the first year of Tekken they did that, where they ran all the spots? They had a different tournament, so there were like 10 tournaments on the day.
I'm not sure.
I think it was
I'm
either
not
last
sure.
year or the year before they did it, and it was the dumbest thing. Because I remember like Eris kept entering, and then they'd get him off. Oh, it was Tasty Steve. Tasty
Maybe,
Steve kept
maybe,
entering, and then
maybe.
they'd put him back on commentary. And it was just really good.
Classic
production value.
Steven.
Anyway, that's good.
DD is a Mafia main now.
It did. It is a Mafia mate, but you can't patch that game.
Yeah,
BK's not getting buffed in Mafia anytime
Never.
soon. KOF 14 got another. It's getting a new update in December. I don't know if much else has been said about that, but it's cool that game's still being supported. They added there was a 3.0 patch that added like 4 new characters, and it's been pretty stagnant since then. But you know, it's good to see that game's still getting supported. But that'll do it for non-Tekken news. That'll come out the end of December, and we'll touch that as it comes out. So we're going to talk about the finals. We're going to talk about the finals well at the end of the
At the
episode.
end,
So
at
we'll
the
talk
end.
about the announcements that happened. So it's season 2, right? Season 2. The full character lineup was revealed. This is news. All of that news came courtesy of Shoryuken. This comes courtesy of Event Hubs. So the season 2 lineup is as follows.
Is Well, after Anna and Lay, there's Marak, Armor King, and Julia, and Negan will be coming last. Not many people were surprised, I guess, by the announcements. Julia was the shoe-in. Everyone predicted her. Armor King was number 2, and then the third spot was a few names were up in the air. Gun Ryu, Marak, and Marak was the one. So we know at least one person who's excited about that, and that is a lovely gentleman by the name of Abylicious. So
shout outs to Abby, man. He pulled some mad stream numbers last night. That's what happens when you like fork out the money to buy the season pass.
Yes.
So what happened was that it came out on PS4 early.
Before Steam.
All right, and then he ponied up the like $20 or whatever, and then got.
Well, I'm pretty sure he would have gotten the season pass maybe before for
right.
just for other reasons. But yeah, but even if he didn't, I'm sure he would have spent the money for Marak because Abby and Marak are like cocaine and hookers. They go hand in hand.
I saw this announcement. I'm like, this is like the shut the fuck up edition of the season pass.
Well, you
Is
might
it
look at it
not?
like that, but it's also kind of like season 1. Like they didn't give everyone 100% what they wanted, so they're like, you know what, when Namco, we're gonna do right by everyone. Let's give the people what they want. Namco is a company for the people.
It's good,
it's
but
plain and simple.
I just imagine like Harada's like he comes in, he's having his morning coffee, he's on Twitter. He just walks out to the development team. He's like, listen.
we need to give him
Let's
Julia.
just sort it out, all right?
We need to give him Julia. But yeah, it was good. It was hype.
It's good. I'm happy.
We watched the tournament at BKB. Like me, Dion, Stefan, Dave, Eli, and Brad. We were here watching it like till the wee hours of the morning. We didn't sleep. And we were like just hype as fuck, just jumping and screaming, and it was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing. It was a great
top
event.
8. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, season 3 Tekken World Tour's coming
Yes.
2019. Do we know anything else about it, or is that it?
Literally all we know.
All right, that's good.
So there's another TWT happening.
So don't get a job.
Are you gonna travel?
It's a very hard question. Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Like if I want to do it, I want to do it properly because this year I kind of just did what I felt like it, you know. And all the main events seems to happen in America. If I want to do it properly, then I have to be going to America more.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm still thinking. I'm not. Yeah.
Okay. Can someone sponsor this guy?
Just do it. What's
Someone
wrong with
sponsor this guy. ISF represent.
I'll go by myself either way.
Yeah. It would just be easier if you got someone, so you don't have to spend all the money by yourself. So So that's all.
We got the World Tour finals, but I reckon we'll save it for the World Tour portion of the discussion. But before we get into that, I just want to shout out Bankstown Runbacks number 2 happening in Sydney on Saturday. All the usuals.
Come out, support. Street Fighter and Tekken will be part of the tournaments. Will be part of the Twitch Evo Road. So you get your points, and then you go to BAM, and then if you're highest placing Australian, you get a free trip to Evo next year. So come out to Bankstown Runbacks and trying to get some valuable points.
Hey, IDEP Dion. IDEP Dion.
IDEP Dion.
Maybe you should go and
we
hit
need
that.
someone to sponsor us first.
Hit that subscribe button.
For
absolutely zero benefits. Anyway, Bankstown Runbacks number 2. Full list of games, times you can find on screen or at ozhado.net. Under Night, Soul Calibur 6, VF, Dragon Ball, Guilty Gear, Mortal Kombat, Skullgirls, Soul Calibur 6, the new players tournament, which I believe a PC copy of the game is up for grabs.
Winner gets a PC copy, yeah.
Super Turbo, Central Fiction, SF5, which was a part of the Evo event, Injustice 2, Tekken 7, Blaze Blue Cross Tag, Ultra Street Fighter 4, and Million Arthur, which is that Mugen game that everyone plays in Japan.
I hate you, Dennis. I hate you, Dennis, and I hate you, Dennis.
It's that game's a sin. You're all sinners. But he's not a sinner, Mr. Dion. Let's talk a little bit about your history. Hey, you haven't said much. So let's talk. How did you end up in Tekken?
Hold on, I just want to answer a question real quick. Parking is free at Bankstown all day. All you have to do is validate your ticket with the concierge when you walk in, and parking is free. And there's a lot of parking, so parking is not an issue. And if you're coming by train, the train station is less than 5 minutes walk away. So I don't know excuses from people saying there's no parking or there's no public transport. Station less than 5 minutes walk, free parking the entire day. Come out to Bankstown and support us, please. Thank you very much.
You should. That's enough about news for the time being.
Yeah.
Dion,
Yes.
what's up?
Are you awake?
Yeah, I'm awake.
That's cool. That's cool.
Let's-
Feeling a bit down because he lost the keys to his bike. So, motorbike, by the way. So
F for
he's a
keys.
bit upset. So,
That's alright.
So that's all. But yeah.
So how did you? We want to talk a little bit about your history. Obviously, we want to get your thoughts on what happened over the last weekend. There's a big Tekken dump of information, but I'd like to talk a little bit about how you got your start, and then maybe a little bit about the incredible year you've had results wise. So let's talk a little bit about how you got your start in Tekken, where you're from, all that sort of stuff.
So I initially started Tekken in Tekken. Oh, well, obviously I played Tekken 3 and Tekken Tag just for fun, and just kind of played a bit more serious in Tekken 5.0 when the game came out. I was living in Wellington in New Zealand, and it was on the arcade. So I walked past. I'm like, oh, this game looks pretty sick. Like the graphics are really good. Played a few games. I mean, it wasn't competitive. It was just for fun. And then I think Wellington had this local tournament one time, like in Tekken 5, and I don't know how to play, but I knew how to button bash. And finally, I learned 2 moves, which was a low and a mid. And I just decided, I was like, oh, if I do this low enough, they're gonna recognize it. Then I'm gonna do the other one. And I just basically played mind games with 2 moves. And funnily enough, I actually won that tournament. And the guy that played me in the finals could juggle when I couldn't juggle. And just everything was hitting, so I got in his head and won the tournament. And the winner of that tournament got a qualifier to play like this New Zealand regional thing. And so like I think there was 6 tournaments or 8 tournaments or something, and then the winner for each tournament went to the final tournament, and I went to that and I lost 2-0. And I was like, how come when I get hit in the air, they could just keep hitting me, right? And I mean, when I got stuck before, I just low jabbed and grabbed, and I was like, well, this guy can break this grab, then I'll just do another grab. So yeah, exactly. So I was playing my own mind games, and
it's funny that you mentioned that. Sorry to interrupt. It's like even when you didn't know how to play the game properly, it's kind of like you had natural intuition to how Tekken functions. Like you say, I'm gonna keep doing this slow. It's kind of like you're essentially describing it's essentially you were born to play Jack. I'm gonna keep down back one until they start ducking down. I'm gonna fucking down forward to their face, and then I'm gonna grab stuff. So it's really interesting to see how even before you knew how Tekken is meant to be played, you were already playing Tekken.
So I was using Christy at the time.
Nice.
I was using Christy like purely. I was
She's
young.
hotter than
Yeah,
Jack.
she was hot.
She's hotter than Jack. Yeah,
I was like, man, this chick she's pretty fine. So yeah, I played Christy, and then I think I was just playing for fun, only at the arcades, and then people made a really big deal once the game got released on console. They're like, oh my god, this game's finally getting released. But I mean, for me, I didn't have a PlayStation back then, so I was like, oh, I don't really care. But then I realized like it was a big thing. Like the game's getting released, people can practice, and everyone just got better real quickly. So went to buy the game, bought a PlayStation, finally could combo, and so I played not that competitively. It was just for fun. I think later on, the next year, no, I think it was that same year, I moved back to Australia. So I think moved back to Australia, just playing casually. People were real friendly in Melbourne when I was playing. It was at Box Hill back in the time.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh no, we had it at White House in the city as well.
Also remember.
So yeah, I didn't play that often, like once a week if that. So Tekken 5, and there's always like people just sitting there and like smashing everyone, and like there's a guy called Gab, and I remember like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Gab.
Hold on, something Kazama. His handle.
Kazama Run.
Kazama Rant.
Yes,
Kazama
that's it.
Kazama Rant.
It was like bashing people, and then Kev,
Woody.
Yeah.
I know him.
He was bashing people, and then
one of them moved to Virtual Fighter, and the other one moved to Soul Calibur.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Gab moved to Virtual Fighter, and Woody moved to Soul Calibur.
Yeah. So
and by moved, I mean downgraded.
Yeah. So yeah, there was always people just owning everyone, and I didn't play that seriously. And Tekken 5 DR came out short after that.
Great game.
The day that DR actually got released in Australia, I was actually in Sydney for a holiday with my parents, right? And I I was like, well, it's time to play a new character. So the two new characters I think was Dragunov and Lily.
I know.
So I tried Lily first, and I couldn't combo, and I knew nothing about this character. But funnily enough, the guy sitting next to me was on like 15 wins with Lily by doing 10-hit combos only.
I wonder who that could be.
And yeah, it was Tuan.
Of course.
It was Tuan. So I was like,
the god himself.
yeah. So he had this like little notebook next to him with all the combos, like everything about this character. And I was like, look, man, you seem pretty good. Like, please teach me. And he's like,
Please.
well, if you do this flip, all you gotta do is these two mind games. And I was like, it's pretty smart, actually, you know? So it's pretty smart. So all I did for that whole night was just doing flips
Flip.
and 4-4-4. And Lily had a
That's
move.
good. Yeah, 4-4. Yeah.
Lily had a move called down forward 4-4, which is just the mid to a
into
low. But it was day one, like no one knows what was happening. So I was doing down 4-4-4 until they recognized the second hit was a low, and then I mixed it up with the grab, and that's it. So
Nice. Going back to the basics.
exactly. So I think I did pretty well. Like I think I had a few win streaks here and there. So I was in Sydney that same day when the game came out. Then Tuan taught me, went back to Melbourne, played the game a bit more seriously because finally got a new main character. Was kind of enjoying that. Then I met some people from Melbourne. They had this forum back then called like tekken.org.au, which was...
I remember that.
It was like pretty old school. It was like you had to post like when people are going to come out. Like people called each other out for death matches.
I miss forums.
Was
Yeah.
this like pre-Zaibatsu? What's going on with this thing?
No. Tekken Zaibatsu was there, but Australia had their own forums. There's Tekken.org.au and there was Arcade Pimp as well, the Brisbane one.
Why did they? Because I remember like TZ. This was a little bit later, but there were threads for like each state and
Yeah,
stuff.
same. Like
So same people,
but
just
no.
different.
TZ is kind of like the think of it like the SRK. Like TZ is what SRK is to like Street Fighter and Capcom.
Right.
Before when the forums were still active. In
Right.
That. Like Tekken Zaibatsu still exists. It's just not as active as it used to be.
Okay.
Because again, forums are a rarity these days.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like place that in the timeline of because TZ was alive then, Ozhado was alive then,
It still is.
and then you have these two like Tekken centric
Yeah.
Australian forums off to the side. That's bizarre that there were like so many different.
And
Tekken hubs
they were
going
getting
on.
mad traffic. Like they were active all the time.
Was it the
Tekken
same people? Like what's going on?
Because it was Arcade Pimp was mainly for the Queensland scene. Tekken.org.au was mainly for the Melbourne scene. So that's how that people communicate. Imagine this. There's no like people weren't on Facebook. People weren't on Twitter. If I wanted to play you in a Tekken match? How somebody let you know?
But to think that there were that many different.
Yeah, and
that's
they were
crazy.
all getting traffic.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so we had Tekken.org, which like people started posting. Then I finally started recognizing names and familiar players. I think I joined a tournament in Melbourne again, and I met Abby for the first time, and I met Jonno for the first time around that time period, and I could never beat those guys. Like Tekken 5 DR, like hands down, like early stage, they were like too good. Like I actually didn't even I didn't even know you can break grabs, and they were breaking grabs. So they were obviously like much further ahead of me in the game. And yeah, so Tekken 5 DR kind of just. Well, I didn't play it that seriously. Still, like I was enjoying the game. I don't think I was any good. We had like a lot, like back in the days in Tekken 5, which we don't have now, is there was a massive arcade scene. So every day, like after school, when I go there and played, I would always find someone, and people spent like hours. Like they just kept playing and playing.
So what was the timeline like for that? So Tekken 5.0 came to arcades, then console. Then DR came to console, arcade. And then
Like
it came to what? PSP? Like what were the consoles?
PSP and PS3.
So it did get a separate release.
5.0 was PS2, but DR was PS3.
So then what you're talking about now was this sort of like pre-PS3, and the game was out in arcades, but did you have console access then, or was this the only way to play? DR at the time.
DR, yeah, it was only on arcade at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I played a bit more serious back then. I traveled to China a few times back then, and I played the players there, and I was getting smashed. But then people were real friendly, so I met some of the players there, and I think not that much happened during Tekken 5, and it was still a really friendly game. Like, I took it as a really friendly game. It wasn't competitive for me.
Yeah. It's always friendly when you don't care about winning that much.
Yeah.
It only becomes, a bit heated when you care about winning too much.
Well, I remember early that they used to have, I think 1 year, a few people telling me that they were going up to Sydney for OHN, and I didn't know what OHN was back then. And I think this 1 year, if I remember correctly, it was like a team tournament at one stage. I can't remember, like DR. There was a team tournament once.
Yeah, there was a 2v2 tournament one time at OHN the night before, and it was at UTS.
Okay.
So OHN 8?
It was 8. It was during 5. I think it was the team tournament was 5.0.
Okay.
And then, but the actual tournament was DR.
Okay.
Because DR wasn't out on console yet, so they ran a team tournament 5.0. And I remember the team that won that tournament was Erks and Gary, and whoever organized the trophies, and this is true, whoever organized the trophies bought 2 random Tekken characters with the trophies, and it was Nina and Raven. And it just so happened to be that Erks was using Nina in that tournament, and Gary was using Raven.
Oh no, rigged, Sydney rigged. Rigging another tournament. That's just what Sydney does, man.
Yeah, this is how it happened. Yeah, and they won the 2v2 tournament, Erks and Gary.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool. Then
I don't remember who won that tournament this year in the. I think I remember who won in the that tournament. I think it was either Hysteria or Andrew.
Let me look it up. Anyway, you keep
and
going.
Catfish was in the grand
Catfish
final.
was pretty high. I remember
Catfish was really good, really good back in the.
I think at this stage, if I remember correctly, I don't think Melbourne has made a top 8 at that stage yet.
Who was good in Melbourne?
Jonno, Abby,
Jack. Korean Jack.
Yes, but that was before Korean Jack. So he never travelled until Tekken 6.
Yeah, in Tekken 5, Cyrax.
Did he travel? He travelled.
Yes, he was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was probably the best in Melbourne.
What did he place in OHN?
He came top 8. I'm pretty sure he came top 8.
Which is pretty good
Yeah,
for back
Cyrax
then.
was definitely Melbourne's best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So then Tekken 6
Kelly was his name.
Kelly,
was his name,
yeah. So
yeah.
he was Aboriginal.
Yeah, he was.
I don't know if that had any relevance, but all right. So
Thank you.
So then Tekken 6 started. And when Tekken 6 started, I played a bit more serious because everyone just felt normal. Like, no one was better than anyone else.
Oh boy.
Yeah, like...
Were you wrong?
I played Lily, which was a pretty rubbish character. She
wasn't that good.
She didn't have a bound, but like I said, when I was playing Tekken back then, I'm playing my absolute own mind game. Like, I actually didn't know what this guy was doing, but I know that if he was doing this on my move, I just did my other thing, right? And I came to that year. We had a really big OHN show up. We had my friend Little Tay. We had like honestly like 12 people from Melbourne come down that year. That was my first OHN. I think I was like 19. Do you remember that one? Maybe.
Well, I was running it, so yeah.
Okay, so Jacob won.
Yeah.
Jacob won that one.
A back-to-back OHN winner, Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob won. So, so like back. This is the story I was telling you about a while back. So I came to Sydney, and like there was this guy with like a 3rd Dan Lei Wulong sitting there with like God knows how many wins. And it was this Korean guy with this ponytail.
We all thought it was a girl at first.
I was like, man, this guy looks like he looks almost homeless.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go bully him because he's on 3rd Dan, you know. And I was like, obviously ranks above him. Went to go play him, got like absolutely demolished. And it was like basically playing with
Can
me.
you explain to them how he played late and his back turned? Like shenanigans?
Like okay, he did like 10 lows in a row, and the 11th low I ducked and he'd do a mid. And then I was like,
how?
And obviously I kept the cool. I was like, oh yeah, pretty good. But in my mind, I was like, man, these 3rd Dans in Sydney, man, holy shit, they destroy Melbourne. Like, obviously I didn't say too much because I don't know who he was, and and then like you see this like I remember Andrew came out and played after that, and then they were playing, and you see this card rank called Legend. I was like, what the hell is that? Like I've never ever even seen this, and yeah, like I met him for the first time, like Jacob, and I met Andrew, and they were like obviously like a whole level to themselves at that point. Like they're definitely better than all the Melbourne players that I played, and I think, to be honest, at that point I felt a lot of the Sydney players were better than the Melbourne players. Obviously I didn't know the styles, the players, and everything, and a lot of them just
We
felt
still are.
really good. So what happened? Yeah, so I came to OHN that year. I made 4th. I made either 4th or 6th, which was actually the
4th
highest.
or 5th.
Yeah, okay, one or the other. Was it?
There's no
Type
6th.
There's no 6.
It's
Okay.
either 4th, 5th, 7th.
Well, whatever Korean Jack came the year after that, I was on equal with him. Whatever it was. Anyway, so that was a really high placing for Melbourne. And still didn't really know how to play the game, I'll be honest. I was just doing my own shit.
Were you using Lily still?
I was using Lily only. Like, I was playing like Barry, but on steroids.
Barry Bonds.
Yeah, like, it was Barry, but with no defense. And if I felt you couldn't block a low sweep,
I'm just
there's gonna be like 10 coming along.
Nice.
So yeah, played 6, enjoyed 6. Tekken 6 BR came out, and I was playing a bit more BR because there was like these sessions that they would give us at Box Hill. It was like if you come at 10 a.m. in the morning, you could get 2 hours for like $10 or whatever.
So for the uninitiated, what was the BR update? Because I don't think
There were new characters.
There were new characters that added.
There was balancing changes.
Who's that added in Tekken 6 BR?
They added.
Elisa and Lars.
Okay, yeah.
they weren't in Vanilla Tekken 7.
The
Really?
the Vanilla Tekken 6 characters was Zafina, Leo, Bob, and Miguel.
So then BR must have been the release that was going to come to the console, right? Because the whole Tekken 6 story mode was based around Lars.
Probably. He became the new poster boy, and he was like the best
crazy.
character in BR.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so when BR came out, I was still just playing kind of casually for fun, doing my own thing. Then we had these like morning sessions, right? And someone that used to always go with me was Samo.
I know Samo.
Yeah, Samo. So he was like one of the
Bob
and Leo. Then we had Jack Yu, who used to always go with me.
Best
Jack
machinist.
Yu.
Jack
Best
Yu.
machinist in Australia.
As in Third Strike Jack Yu.
No.
No.
Jack Yu Melbourne.
There's
Jack
another-
Yu Melbourne. Okay,
Okay,
okay, other
yeah.
Jack.
Yeah, we
You're
had,
thinking Jack Yu.
Yeah. Okay.
so there was a small group that we'd play in Box Hill. At that point, I wouldn't say the Melbourne Tekken community was like one big group. People were still having their separate groups and doing their own thing. So I had my group, which was like Samo and Jack and a few of the others. At that point, I was playing okay. Like I was always beating them, but I wouldn't say I was like great. As in like in Melbourne, I wouldn't say like I was, I don't know, like top. Anyway.
Was
So-
Jack the best? Korean Jack?
Korean Jack was the best by far. Like, he's not only was he the best, he was like absolute cocky as fuck as well.
Yeah.
Like he'd bash the shit out of you and just laugh at you. Can
Yeah,
call
he was a cunt.
Yeah, he was.
But it was cool because he could back it up.
He was a massive cunt.
Like that's why it's like
Yeah,
he's
like-
a cunt, but he's good at taking, so he can't hate.
Yeah,
on
and,
you.
he'll start. He'll be like, "Man, you're just shit. Go home." And he'd give you a lot of shit. Then you'd like have a bit of a heartbreak. Then you'll be like, "You know
Go
what?
home and,
Yeah, get
like,
revenge."
swallow your pride and try
And,
to come back stronger.
Yeah, like. So he was definitely the best player at the time, and the game still wasn't competitive. Like I didn't see the game as a competitive game. Like I was still playing fun. I was playing Dota 1. I was playing other stuff. It wasn't competitive. Then Samo always, and I mean like always, talked about frames, and I had no freaking idea what frames were at the time. I was like, he's like, "Man, why you attack after this move? You know, it's like plus 10." And I was like, I don't know what that means, but I felt I could hop kick here, and I did, and it worked. He's like, "You can't do that." And then so basically it was just he was a weaker player than me, but he was fixing me up. Like he was telling me about stuff, what you can and can't do. So then I started kind of learning about frames, and a lot of the game made more sense to me, a bit more sense. So this is when the game actually became really competitive. Jackie, as in like handsome boy
boy.
Jackie, he'd like Samo was like his biggest fan like ever. He's like, Samo was like, that guy is just a god. I was like, why? He's like, he'd go to Hong Kong and suck all their points. And I was like, all right, well, how good is this guy? He's like, he's too good. Like, he absolutely loved Jackie. So Jackie, I think, came down to Melbourne, like, I don't know, just randomly. And I think, like...
we came down one time. Me, Jackie, and a few other guys. With the sole purpose of just everybody deathmatching everybody. Remember that time?
Might have been, yeah.
Might have been that time.
Might have been that time.
We came down solely because we were like, we're just gonna go down and just deathmatch all of Melbourne. And I think might have been that time.
Yeah, so I wasn't there because I didn't take the game that seriously. But obviously, the people that came down must have, like, pretty much destroyed everyone.
We did.
Yeah, because Samo was like, he came down and he sucked all the points here. And there's nothing you can do. And I was like, I was thinking to my mind, I was like, man, who the fuck cares? Like, these guys just came down, let them do whatever they want. And he was like, every day I'd see him, he was like, they come down and they suck your points, man. And they like, he'd keep rubbing it in. I was like, well, I've never played these guys. And I mean, I played them up in Sydney and these guys are good. So I don't want to get involved, you know, don't get me involved. So, I think then we kind of practiced a bit more seriously because then I've learned frames. And a while later down the track, Samo was telling me that Jackie was going to come in again. And he's like, this time you must prepare, man. You must prepare. It's like, he was making it like it was the end of the world. It was like, it was really...
The end is
No, it was like, it was real serious for him. Like,
See,
because for me it wasn't serious, but for him, like, it was really serious.
I respect the passion, though.
No, yeah. That guy played a shit tons. Like, we're talking like a lot. So he was like, he was telling me that he's gonna do all he can to protect himself, so his points don't transfer to someone else's cards. So he's like, I highly recommend you do the same. So yeah, I did. So I trained really hard, and I played Jackie that time, and we had a deathmatch, and I remember I won a deathmatch against someone with my Lars, and then I lost.
Okay.
I won a character, I lost the character, and I went even with Jack. When Jack was not really like my main character at the time, right?
He was using mainly Feng and Leo in Tekken 6.
He played Ganyu as well.
A bit of Ganyu,
He
but
played Ganyu as well.
Funnily enough, in Tekken 6, and he would tell you this, it's probably the only game where he played more Leo than Feng, because Leo was just so fucking good in Tekken 6.
Yeah, sure.
But besides that, he's always been Feng, man. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Should we talk a little bit, just as a quick aside, how death matches work, especially like in terms of how they work in arcades?
I just want to say, Dave just posted how in 2008 people used to travel interstate to deathmatch, and fast forward 10 years later, people will fucking run away from their next door neighbor, as in fucking pull a plug when they're playing a match online. Like, so that's why when old fucking Youssef says the new generation is fucking soft, the new generation is fucking all kinds of soft. So yeah, that's how serious we took death matches. We took death matches so serious that one time Colin accidentally declined the death match because he wanted to go eat, and Andrew wouldn't got so angry he kept calling him a card chicken. It became a meme to the point where for an entire year Colin was that card chicken because he ran away from Andrew because he wanted to go eat.
So to explain how death matches work, especially in the context of arcades for like non-Tekken people.
When I learned about deathmatch, the word, so like the first time I saw it was against Abby and this guy called Holy Moon in Melbourne. His name was Tay. He was pretty good. He was like a Steve player. It was a different Tay. Okay. And I was like, what's a deathmatch? They're like, oh, they play the same rank until someone goes up. And I was like...
Or someone goes down.
Yeah, or someone goes down. And I was like, why is it a deathmatch? He goes, because
one person dies.
Then he goes, because you are not allowed to leave at any point until you die. So I was like, that always got in my head. I was like, okay, so even if I need to take a piss, I can't take a piss. They're like, no, you sit there and you play to the end.
And you're putting down like
money
dollar after dollar every single game.
Like, because Tekken was a big game at the time, like, you put $1 down and someone will put another $1 down to play next to you. But if it says it's a deathmatch,
No
everyone
one
just,
puts a
yes,
dollar.
they
respect the
they
death
respect
match.
that, yeah.
No one is above a death match. If two people, and especially if the two good people are playing, like not people used to come down to GG's. Just a quick segue. People used to come down to good games in Sydney. They wouldn't even play. They would spend the entire night just watching Mario, Andrew, Cantoro, Gypsy just deathmatch for hours and hours, and they wouldn't even play. They were like, we don't even want to play. We just want to watch. They would just we would sit there and watch them just deathmatch for 3 hours straight. And would have the biggest smile on our face.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to have that perspective.
Yeah.
You keep going, Dion. So you're death matching.
Yeah, so getting before that, I hit the highest rank in Melbourne in Tekken 6 BR.
With Lars?
No, sorry. This is a little bit before that. It was with Lily. I think I was on orange rank, so I was Vanquisher, which was pretty high at the time. Like, it was actually the highest rank in Melbourne. And even in Sydney, at that point, it was like top 3 still, okay? So,
I know where this is going.
I know. So, I don't know what came through my mind that I decided
I love this story
that
so much.
I wanted to fucking come down to Sydney and try to take on Andrew and Jacob. I don't know what happened. Something must have crossed my mind. So I flew down.
You're feeling yourself.
I probably was.
Yeah.
So I came down and like...
Tell him who's the first person you versed. Tell him.
I was pretty high up. So it would have been Andrew or Jacob.
No. Before you deathmatch.
I think I versed you. And then I think you beat me as well. And I was like, man, this guy's pretty legit, man. I haven't seen this flash kind of shit before, you know? Anyway.
Hey man, Tekken 6 SBO representative. Throw some respect on my name!
Oh yeah, that was the first time I met you actually. Yeah. You didn't know me. I didn't know you. You beat me. And then you're like, you were such a... No, you were a cunt, man. You're an arcade. You're like, oi, fuck off now. You know, like, I want this machine. Yeah, so you... Yeah, like, I don't think you were, like, serious. You don't know. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm from Melbourne. You're like, Melbourne? Fuck off, they're good. And you're like... But, you were cool about it, but you were making a big joke. Like, I could see that there was a rivalry. I was like, okay. So, yeah, I went and I was having deathmatch with Jacob and Andrew. I must have dropped, like...
A lot of ranks.
Well, I dropped like at least 6 or 7 ranks. Like, it was basically Andrew raping the shit out of me, then changing to another character, and then beating the shit out of you. Then he wanted to go for a third character, but Jacob's like, let me suck him now. And then you'd get so fucking destroyed that they're like, do you have like a card I could borrow? And then these 2 Koreans are like, nah, he's a bit too low now. Then you get Shane coming, then Jackie coming, then they were just like destroying me. Then I hit something like a yellow rank, where now I think they're just like, well, now he's so low that he can just go play on this other machine that we don't even care anymore. Yeah. And then someone like Aris would come and beat me with Haram, which I've had no idea about back in the days. So yeah, then I got destroyed. I remember I came back on like middle green rank. So on orange, I must have dropped all the yellow.
Yeah, it would have been at least like at worst 5 ranks, at most about like 9 ranks.
Yeah, so
somewhere between 5 and 9 ranks you drop.
Yeah, I got smashed. So I came back, I was like, man, this is not good. So the only person that I could turn to at that point, no, it wasn't Samo because he couldn't help me, was Korean Jack. Yeah. And I told him, I was like, dude, man,
the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
I was like, look, man, I'm serious about getting better at this game. Like, I feel shit. Like, these guys are just too good. And he's like, the only way I can help you is if I reprogram your brain. I was like, how can you reprogram my brain? He's like, you just need to take everything you know about Tekken and and basically chuck it in the bin. I was like, I don't know what the fuck that means, but yeah, I'll take that as a good thing. He's like, how about this? You play the shittest character in the game, in my opinion. I was like, who's that? He's like, Jack.
Well, in Tekken 6.
Yeah, but this was early stage in Tekken 6 BR when Anakin didn't win any tournaments. It was really early.
Was that before they figured out about
Yeah. Okay. So they just thought Jack was an average character. Like a pretty shit character, because he basically, if they just did running kicks, you just have to stand there, right? Mm-hmm. So he's like, you can play Jack, and that's like a shithouse character. So I played Jack, and I just kept playing him, and he's like, and I realized, I was like, this guy actually just has like 3 moves. Yeah. And I was playing it, I wasn't really enjoying it. The character was like absolute ugly as hell. His designs were crap. Everything was crap, and but before I know it, like I was getting really familiar with this character, and going back a bit later on, that's when I met Jackie for the first time. We had a deathmatch, and I think my Jack felt most comfortable. Even though like some characters like Lily, I was winning through like gimmicky stuff. Like Jack, I felt I had more reads. Yeah, like I was. Yeah, I felt like I was actually playing the game a bit more, and so that was Tekken 6 BR. I think I joined an OHN after that in BR sometime, and I lost to a guy called Faye in Sydney.
Yoshi. Yeah, Patrick.
Yeah, so I lost to him, and I was like, man, like I felt like I wasn't. I felt like I was killing myself. It wasn't anyone else's fault. I was just killing myself. Tekken 6 BR kind of just finished around that period, and then Tekken
Tag 2.
Oh yes, okay. Tag 2 came out.
You went, yeah, go on, yeah.
And I remember coming back to Sydney one more time, and then like this Andrew was just destroying everyone with the 2 bears, and then I would ask him, I was like, hey man, how do I swap when I'm about to die? He's like, you just swap. I was like, but if I swap, you just twin piston and I lose half bar. He's like, there's no right answer to this. I was like, okay. So
Tag 2 was really hard. Really hard.
It was a hard game. Like
really hard.
I agree. It was a really tough game. And yeah, so at that point, Andrew was obviously owning the Sydney scene. When I got back to Melbourne, it was me. It was at that point I think I definitely got better. I was always the top 3 ranking. So it was me. We had Jack Yu, who's leveled up a lot, and we had another guy. His name was Andrew as well. He went to OHN and he made top 5. He made top 4. His name was X.
Oh, Ogre player.
Yes.
Ogre. Yeah.
Ogre and Jinpachi.
Yeah, I remember him. He came. Yeah, and he came like 3rd at that BAM as well.
Yeah, he was like
the one that Korean Sam was there. Remember, Korean Sam. He played Jack.
Maybe. Yeah.
So Bernard's friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that guy like. He was pretty good. Like this guy, yeah, he knew how to swap. Like if anything, when I didn't know how to swap in this game, he knew how to swap well. Like he will not swap until he's knocked you down and he'd swap. And like he had like no blood, he'd run up to your face and do like a knockover and he'd just swap, or he had no blood and then he'd grab you and he'd swap. And I was like, this guy just doesn't give a fuck about dying. And then as soon as that I thought he didn't give a fuck about dying, he was raw swapping. And I was like, okay, I think I'm feeling this mind game now. And so yeah, like he was good. Then he just stopped for no reason. Tag 2 kind of just went on, and
that's when you moved to Sydney. In Tag 2.
No, it was towards the end of Tag 2. So
it was.
Yes, it was towards the end of Tag 2. So then that year I practiced really, really hard Tekken. Like I tried to figure everything out. I was caring about frames. I was playing with Samo like a lot. And
what year was this?
It was the year that I won OHN. So whatever.
So hold on. So what are we in? 18 now? So
it was OHN 12 that I won.
16, 14? 2014 maybe? Yeah, 2014 or 13.
Yeah, I think 2014. 2014 for OHN 12, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I won OHM before I came to Sydney. So what happened was...
Yeah, you won 14 and 16.
Yes.
And Naveed won 15 and last year Nobby.
Yeah. So, same. So that year, let's put it this way. The rivalry between Melbourne and Sydney...
14.
Well, up before until 14, I don't think any other state has ever won.
Up until 2014, no other state has ever won OHN Tekken.
Yes.
It's always been Sydney.
So it's been 14 years of Sydney just dominating.
Less, about like 11 or 12.
Okay, well, yeah. Like, no one's ever won.
No one's ever won.
The highest placing, I've made 4th, and Korean Jack made 4th as well.
For Melbourne.
Maybe,
but for Brisbane, Catfish came 2nd one year.
Okay, which is fucking amazing
Which is sick, yeah.
Like, amazing. So,
Abby says OHN 13.
13.
I trust Abby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Abby.
Yeah. So, That year we had a massive turnout for
Big turnout.
Yeah, like it was huge.
Yeah.
I remember, and I was at my absolute peak for Tag 2, and that year I won.
You won.
So
It was actually pretty sick. Even though like you beat Mario, who was like, you know, the poster child for Sydney, like it was actually pretty hectic. Like I was upset and sad, but then I was like, fuck, I can't take nothing from this guy. Like it was sick.
yeah, I think on my 4th place. Before I even made it to the finals, I played Chris Kantoro, and it was like a fucking close match.
It was close.
Like,
And you changed character. I remember you changed to Zafina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a close match, and I remember I had like 1 inch of HP left, and I came back and I won that. And in my mind, like I was just thinking, I was like, I've traveled all this way, like I'm just gonna give it everything. And I think I did like an up 4-3 finish. Like I risked it all at the end.
Yeah.
And I won that, and then the finals. Honestly, I didn't expect to beat Mario because he is better than me. Like, although I won that tournament, at that point, I felt in casuals he was still ahead of me.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. Maybe, but yeah.
I felt. But I know that even though he might beat me in casuals, tournament is very different. Like, it's about how you're feeling on the day, how well you perform, and like how much you're believing in yourself, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I just got, well, I wouldn't say lucky, but I took
No,
I took the OHN, and that was the first time like Melbourne ever won.
For any state.
Oh yeah,
ever won
exactly.
OHN.
Yeah. So then later that year I moved down to Sydney, and I didn't think, like, by that time I was getting along with the Melbourne Tekken group pretty well, like, because not only that, like, we've probably known each other for like 7 or 8 years already.
It's been a while.
So yeah, they all felt like family. When I came down, I felt that Sydney wasn't that friendly.
Really?
Yeah, no, it was definitely not friendly as a Tekken scene. I felt. Right?
That's fine.
I felt like when I came down, because it wasn't that the group wasn't friendly.
Don't sugarcoat it. If you thought we were cunts, say we were cunts.
Well, everyone
We'll cop it on the chin.
Everyone cared too much about winning. That was the thing that I felt.
Sounds like Sydney.
Sounds
Yeah.
like Sydney.
Correction to the correction, it's OHN 12.
Yeah, so they really, really cared about winning. And after like it finished, like,
I mean, you don't win 11 or 12 OHNs if you don't care about winning. Just throwing it out there. Yeah.
oh,
go
but
on.
no, but I played to improve as well.
Yeah,
like, if I lose, I'll be like, oh fuck, what did I do here? You know. But in Sydney, one thing I wasn't used to when I moved down here was you guys had a lot of different groups. Like when I came down on Tuesday, you had Box and his group.
And they would leave as soon as we get there.
So yeah, they would not hang out
They
with you
wouldn't
guys.
hang out.
And then the main group with you, Dave, the main group like Zahn and everyone, they'd be doing, like your own kind of thing as well. And like in Melbourne, it was pretty clear. Like this guy is top 1, top 2. This guy is top 3, top 4. In Sydney, it's like I would ask Zahn, like, how do you go against this guy's? Like, no, we don't play. I don't know, and I don't care. Like, I don't know this guy really well. He doesn't come. We don't play each other. Like, it was that kind of thing, and I felt it wasn't that friendly. But later on, like
there was definitely some like separations.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's how I felt when I came down. I think I actually stopped Tekken towards the end of Tag 2 because the game was just it was boring. Not much people played. I moved down to Sydney and I just had life to deal with at that time. And I think Tag 2 must have finished then. Tekken 7 Vanilla came out. And I was living pretty close to the arcade.
Very close.
Yeah, so
5 minutes walk.
Yeah, so then I was playing.
Close.
That's pretty close to the arcade, as it turns out.
It was just upstairs. I was like upstairs. So then I think I played a lot in 7.0.
You did play a lot.
I think then you'd know about what happened then. So how was I in Sydney in 7.0? I was pretty high up.
You were top tier.
I was pretty high up. I played Shaheen.
Of course.
I played Shaheen.
It was good in vanilla.
It was
the
very
best.
good. I played Shaheen.
He was the best character. Everyone played. Even Sane was playing Shaheen at some point.
I played Shaheen, and in Australia I was pretty high tier. Okay, then I must have traveled to Japan.
You did.
For the first time, sometime in 2015.
Oh yeah. Oh,
And
tell him to. Oh yeah.
It felt like going to Sydney for the first time.
Yep.
I was like, why the fuck are these randoms so good? Like I felt uncomfortable. I think later on, like now, I realized it wasn't that they were so good. I was just not confident. Like I think you stop playing yourself after you played overseas because you're not used to a lot of things. They make different decisions from the players that Australian players make, and I think the highest rank around that period when I went to Japan in Tekken 7 was like only red rank. So I felt the orange rank players were like absolutely like insane, like so freaking insane. Then I went to Korea that time as well, and I was like green ranks in Korea called Taunt Jet Upper, and I was like, what is going on? Like I know that I dominate the Australian scene, but when I go to Korea, like holy crap, these guys are good. So I kind of came back, and I mean I felt there was such a big skill gap that I almost felt not motivated to play this game anymore because I know that there was no one that I felt that could help me get better. And as soon as I felt that I've reached a new level, I'd bring what I learned back to Australia, and I felt that I had to dumb myself down when I had to play like a lot of the players here.
What do you mean?
Like, for example, right? When I get a plus frame in Tekken, over there, if I just did A and B option, they'd guess right like more than 50%. So I was like, well, how come these guys can see these things? Like both of these things are unreactionable. And then like Saint would be like, well, when you only do two things, for me it's predictable. It could only be A or B. And sometimes I just make a read, I'd get hit by your mid, but he was just saying it's predictable because when there's only two moves, it's predictable. Then he's teaching me about how you should dash in and mix things up, use different moves. Then I tried this in Australia, and then they just hop kick. And I'll be like, okay, let me try a different low. Nothing happened. Then this guy's panicking, and he just hop kick again. And I was like, if I only just did A and B option, I would fucking win every time. So I did that, right? And I felt that I'm really stuck at this point, like in this game. Tekken 7.0, went to Master Cup with the Australian group.
Yes.
For the first time.
And Master Cup, that was an open bracket team tournament, correct?
Yeah,
Team
5v5.
5v5. With us, Nobi first game, we got smashed. Like, hands down, we got smashed. I had no idea what was going on. I still felt pretty new. I had help me sitting next to me, just screaming at me in Korean, like, don't do that. That's shit. Why are you doing this? And I know he was trying to be nice, but in my mind, I'm like, I know I shouldn't do that, but what the fuck am I meant to be doing, man? Like, I just felt like I was getting owned. So, yeah, that kind of happened. Got smashed. Tekken's...
Actually, just real quick, remember when you were versing Nobby? You know how it's Nobby?
Yeah.
And then I think he came in third on the team.
No, I was last.
Oh, last.
I was the last.
And I remember like Nobby just washed everyone else. And then you sat down, and I think you won the first round.
I did. I won the first round.
And then when Nobby was versing everyone, he was legit like couldn't be fucked. Like he did not want to be this one. Just playing, winning. And then Dion sits down, and then Dion wins the first one. And Nobby literally sat up. He was like... It's like, oh, we're about to play some real Tekken right now.
I love Nobby, man.
It was fucking hilarious. Like we actually saw that like on the stream. Like he was just like, oh, whatever against everyone else, and then you sat down, and then you won the first round. And Nobby literally had to sit up, readjust his seat, and actually pay like 10% attention to what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he actually cared.
Yeah.
Like he he felt like, oh, this guy knows how to play.
Yeah.
So I think that was the end of Tekken 7.0, and then finally FR came out on arcade.
2016.
No, yeah. Yeah, Arcade 2016.
Okay. Because Vanilla lasted about 1 year, then
Yeah.
Arcade got it. Was 7.0 online at the time as well?
It was at the arcade.
At the arcade.
Yeah, well, in Australia.
In Australia, it was.
Within the arcade, like you can
Yeah.
verse another machine, but not another arcade.
Okay. But essentially, like for Asia, it functioned the same as FR did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going back a bit actually. So after I won that OHN, I basically lived in Sydney, and Navid came up to Australia. So he, at that point, was dominating the Melbourne scene, and the year after, Navid won OHN in the finals with me, and his style is just super different for me. Like when I played him, it didn't feel like a Korean, it didn't feel like a Japanese.
It's Pakistan.
It's definitely different. You know, like he takes risks, but it felt like all the risks were hitting. He can't get away with stuff. Like if I just kept lowing this one guy, you can't just keep lowing this guy. Like he'd pick up on it. Like
he moves really well.
His defense in general was different, and I felt it was different. I felt his game was different, and it's really like for me it was definitely something different for me. And yeah, so then I was in Sydney. Then we had FR. The 7.0 came out. I don't even think then the year that we had the 7.0 tournament, I won again. Right? Yeah, I won again the 7.0. That's when I came back from Japan and Korea, and I think I just massively improved a lot. Came back, and then I must have stayed back for like a while, and I felt that by the day I'm getting worse because I just didn't have anyone to play with.
We weren't there yet.
Yeah, we didn't have anyone to play with.
Andrew wasn't playing as well.
Yeah, just there wasn't too much happening. Then I think sometime a bit later on, I can't remember when this was. I went and stayed with Saint at his place at one stage, and like just coincidentally, obviously it was Saint and he played Jack. And the reason he accommodated me was when he came up to a tournament, I think it was BAM one year, I accommodated him. So I stayed with him, and yeah, he basically taught me a bit more Jack, he taught me a bit more stuff. And like, I don't know if, like in Australia, a lot of people had issues with the way I played. They're like, this guy plays like a cunt, he does like 50 lows in a row. Right? I don't know.
You do.
Well, that's what a lot of people say, right? Yeah. When I went to Korea and I played Saint, I was like, dude, give me some comment. Like, what is something that I could do? His comment was, you're not dirty enough. You don't do enough lows. And I was like, but back home, everyone thinks I do it too much. It's like, you need to do more machine gun and P machine gun. One is down back one is crouching down back one. And I was like, okay, so I don't know what this guy is saying, but he's just saying I'm not even dirty enough. But okay, I'll give it a more shot. All right. So yeah, stayed with Saint. I think I definitely improved when I stayed with him.
How long were you there for, roughly?
I was there for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
A couple of weeks, and I was playing flat out. Like I was playing probably, I remember when I was in Japan, the arcade would open at 12 on the dot. I would 11:55 be at the 7-Eleven next door buying my whole groceries for the whole day. At 11:59 I would be outside the arcade. This guy would like open the door. I would be in there, and I would, you know, in Japan it's 3 hours and it's you pay hourly, but if you pay for 3 hours it was a little bit more discount.
They'll give you discount.
So I was like, okay, I would like to take from 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock. He's like, that's 12 hours. I was like, yeah. He's like, are you sure? I was like, yes, that's okay. Because like later on in the evening, someone want to take your machine. So I would have like a full 12 hours until when it closed of just playing for like 7 hours straight. It felt really tiring. Like my first trip to Japan, I did nothing except live and play in Sugamo. That was it. But I know that once I get home, I won't get the chance to anymore. So yeah, I must have improved a lot then. And I was going through that phase where I played Lars, Jack, Shaheen, like a shitloads of characters. And when I went to Japan, I was asking one of the guys, I was like, look, can you ask Nobi if he can coach me? Like, and this guy's like, so I can't remember what it was. He must have asked Nobi. He's like, look, this guy from Australia wants to ask coaching from you. And Nobi's like, no, we don't coach anyone below blue rank. So, pretty much. They're like, it's like, you're not at this level. We don't want to coach you.
Yeah, you're not good enough for us to coach you. Which is essentially true.
Yeah. So, I asked, I was like, look, can you find me a good coach? Like, I want someone that's good and they'll coach me. So I met Shuri that time, and Shuri's like, I'll play with you a couple of games.
Streamer Shuri.
Yeah, Shuri. Yes.
The guy he runs. He's like runs Sugamo.
Yeah. He streamed my match against him, and I got smashed as well, like 14-0. Oh, I remember I played Shaheen, and I got smashed like more than 10-0. And then I played Jack, which was absolutely fucking bottom tier in vanilla. And we went pretty even. And I told him that, you know, like I want to play Shaheen. I want to play like a good character. Jack is pretty rubbish. And he goes, look, I know that Jack... This is what he said to me, like straight up. He goes, I know that Jack is bottom tier, but I'm going to say it as it is. At your level, you don't have rights to worry about tier list. He goes, everyone is good at your level. Only at like a really, really high level, it starts to matter. At your level, any character is good.
Which is actually true.
Which is, yeah I agree with him. Yeah. So at that point, and then I realized, it's like, why is it that a bottom tier character, I can actually go better than a top tier character? Like, I just had better feeling, you know? Like, when I get stuck, I didn't get stuck because I've seen these situations before earlier. And that is when I decided I'm going to just completely focus on Jack. So I played Jack pretty seriously then. When Tekken 7 FR came out, they buffed Jack as well, and I only focused on Jack. And I basically, so I think I only focused on Jack then, and I'm still only basically a Jack player.
At the moment, it's still...
Yeah, until I think FR, and then sometime later on, Geese got released, and...
You love Geese.
Yeah, I mean, when it came out, I was like, I've seen this ugly character before. He's some cunt from King of Fighters. Yeah. I've never seen how he works, and I was like, Repulkin. That just sounds like fucking gay.
What? You gonna Geese?
Yeah.
Geese is hectic.
No, I didn't like him at the start.
Tekken players don't know about other games.
But then...
You guys all have weeb complexes. Every single one of you all have a weeb complex. Anyway,
so then I realized when I was playing online that Geese had a 50-50 mix-up, right? As soon as the mix-up button is finished, so for example, as soon as I've done this into the 50-50, I physically do not need to give a fuck what you're thinking in your mind. You only need to give a fuck what I'm doing. When I have a max mode, you guess it's either going to be an A or a B launcher. And I was like, this is pretty gay. Like, I don't know what's happening, but if I just do 50-50, you have to respect me. And a lot of Australian players, we like to press buttons.
A lot.
And Geese
is the anti-button.
Yeah, he's like, if you press buttons,
you die,
and you get parried. Look at the next round. Yeah. Don't look at this round anymore. So then I picked up Geese, and I went to Korea, and I remember playing.
Kokomo?
No, it was Two Horn. So it was Fighting Spirit.
I know Fighting.
Yeah, Fighting Spirit was on a stream. We went 25-25 with Geese against his Steve, which is on like the highest Steve in Korea at the time, right? And I think another reason I did well is because my playstyle was different, and he didn't know Geese at the time. All I did was 50-50 with him. Like, that is it. At that point, like, Geese was kind of new, so people didn't know how to deal with it either. And he made a stream afterwards with Gura talking about like how this cunt is only doing 50-50. And yeah, like I think a lot of my confidence went up through the game. I wouldn't say I've actually improved heaps a lot, but I realized that I don't need to follow a Korean style or a Japanese style. Like, I've got my own game, and people just need to respect that. Like, I know what I'm doing, and you know what you're doing, but everyone plays their own thing, and whatever works. And yeah, so I've been traveling heaps, played a lot of TWT events this year as well.
You were pretty close to making top 20.
I was at 24 or 23 at one stage, and bear in mind that's with me almost joining no tournaments initially. Middle, I joined a few because I was just traveling and.
Look, let's be real. I can name a few people that you are definitely better that made the top 20. Let's be real. And if you could get the chance to travel more, you're 100%. I reckon you'll definitely make top 20.
Yeah, well, look, I remember it was towards the end of the year, and there was like 6 events left, and I was on like 23 or 24. I was pretty high up, and I had this thought in my mind. I was like, should I go to the last few events and try to make top 20? Because I'm actually really close. That's what was going through my mind. And then, after a long thinking, I didn't. Because what was going through my mind was, even if I made top 20, I honestly think it doesn't mean anything for me to make top 20. Because I think, even if I got in there, everyone's going to be like, Australia made it by fluke. Or this guy's just... Or I'm just going to go in there and get smashed. And I think that's legit. I'll go in there, I'll probably come in like 4-0 or 4-1 or something.
Question.
Right? Yes.
Do you think if you were to travel to that many events, like a year-long circuit, and make it, people will still say Australia made it by fluke?
At that point...
Because no one is saying, for example... Well, no one that knows isn't saying Super Akuma made it by fluke. But like, we know you are infinitely better than Super Akuma. Like, infinitely. Like, not even in the same league. And that's fact. But he gets the chance to travel to so many more tournaments.
That's it. The tours come down to like, and this isn't
you know
just for
what I mean?
Tekken.
Like,
It's
and like I said,
opportunity.
I can name a couple more people that I will bet anything on that you will beat them in the first to anything.
And Blind Duality makes a good point.
That made the top 20.
Blind Duality makes a good point. Who really gives a shit? Like the people,
Yes,
the
that
people
is,
who
and
know.
also who gives a fuck?
Like, you know,
Are you doing it for the
Kappas-
people? Or are you doing it for yourself?
Well, look...
Are you doing it for me? Do it for
Initially,
me.
when I was traveling, right? And we had me traveling, playing overseas. They're like, who the fuck is Australia? Like...
But that's like internet. That they're gonna do that. Doesn't matter who you are. If your name's not like Japanese _ hentai 69, like that's what they're gonna say about you. Like it doesn't matter.
He's right. He's
Yeah.
right.
But towards the end, I think I've had a lot more exposure, and even in a lot of the like in Asia, a lot of players do know me now. And like I wouldn't say I'm all really good, like compared to a lot of the high level players, but because I played so differently as well, I think a lot of players have just came to respect. They're like, okay, this guy is just like when I met Chanel at ISF, he's like, you just play.
I don't know if you know this, but do you know Chanel is a shaman?
I actually told you that.
Really? That's the
Like 100
joke,
times,
idiot.
100 times.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And he goes, look, the way you play Jack is just different from like a lot of Korean Jacks. Like, you know what I mean? And so when I was deciding if I should travel into the last few events, I realized that no, I'm not doing it for anyone else, but my key and main focus this year in Tekken is not to win. My focus is purely just to get better and work on my mentality.
Did you do that?
And I think I did. I think I improved.
I think you did that.
I improved a lot. I think my mental got better. Everything is just like I've improved, right? And making it and winning a top 20 in a TWT, it didn't matter to me. Because I realized if I got better and I played next year or a year after where I decide to play all the events, I guarantee that I will make top 20. Like,
Sick.
Like not in a really cocky way, but I believe in it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, like
You have to believe.
yeah,
Otherwise,
I think so. Like, you know, even if you fuck up a few events here and there, you'll pick up, and you consistently make top 8. You'll be able to make top 20.
And you're going to be running into the same people, like,
Oh
especially.
yeah, a lot of the same players.
Because the sponsored ones are the ones that have the money to travel.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to get the more opportunity, which means you
That's
get more
why
opportunity to play.
someone needs. Can we get like some big Australian org to sponsor this guy so he can travel?
Well, Tekken isn't huge here.
I mean, FGC.
That's the
dude,
thing. If that's the
FGC
problem.
isn't huge. Let's be real.
But I think even relative to that, Tekken gets a disproportionately
But, like,
low amount of representation versus other games.
It gets less amount of recognition than say games like Street Fighter. Whereas you can ask anyone, even Street Fighter players, what's the bigger game in Australia, or not even bigger, the biggest game in Australia, and everyone will tell you Tekken 7. Like
By the numbers, I think that's still true.
Yeah, by numbers.
One thing I don't understand is like Harada was saying that Tekken sold like 3.6 million. What Street Fighter sold like 2 point something.
I don't even know if they hit 2 million.
Yeah, like this is the thing. Like, why is that game just so much ahead of every other game?
I'll tell you why. It's just because it came before, so it's really more ingrained in pop culture. That's literally what it is. Better or worse, that doesn't matter. Like, let's be real, and I don't want to start the whole.
We're not going
Street
into
Fighter
that,
5
but,
is a shit game, but like honestly, you cannot compare a game like Street Fighter 5 to a game like Tekken 7. And if you want to go purely on like game quality merits, and be like, yeah, SF5 is ahead of Tekken 7.
It is.
No. And if you're just comparing it on like game merits and quality, the reason why SF5 still gets all the glamour and the FGC esports ecosystem is because Street Fighter, the name came before, and it's more recognizable in pop culture. That's literally what it is. Like, and that's why it has a bigger following. So, but like that's it, which is fair. I can respect the hustle, but like, it is what it is.
But bear in mind, there are some countries where Tekken is a bigger game.
Yeah, Philippines, for example.
Philippines,
like
exactly.
All of the like almost most of the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, like even Lebanon. Lebanon in Egypt, they had a representative at ISF. So
yeah,
like there's a lot of countries that don't care about all the pizzazz and whatever, and like esports and all that sponsors and shit. They just care about, is the game good? Yes, I'm gonna play Tekken 7. That's it.
Yes. So Philippines is definitely huge.
Oh, massive.
Like, I talk to random girls on the street. I'll be like, I'm a Tekken player. They're like, oh man, there's a guy called Dojin. He's from my university. Because they're constant. Like, they're actually on newspapers.
Yeah.
Like they're on newspapers and like.
I bet you none of the girls say, yeah, there's a guy named AK. Do they? Because yeah, no one says AK. Yeah.
Well, I mean.
Dojin's family cry. A secret smash Dojin outside of Bruce's bracket at Evo.
Oh, it's like
sad.
Dojin's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I think that I touch on most things about how my Tekken started and how it kind of went on.
Well, I reckon.
No, hold on. I'm not done.
Yeah, I'm not either, but
okay,
sure. Alright, Tekken man, you can.
No, I thought you were gonna say. I reckon we're gonna call.
No.
This party just started, my man.
So then, all this talk about you were damn close to making it, to the top 20 this year. So
yes, this is at BKB.
Is it sort of all dependent, sort of your plans for 2019? I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about the state of the game and how you think things are going to go next year. But what are your sort of projected? At this stage, what are you sort of thinking for the next 12 months in terms of where you go with Tekken?
Look, one thing that about the game. Okay, so before Saint and JDCR got sponsored by Echo Fox, I sponsored them for that Evo event, which Saint won. Which Saint won, and after Saint won.
No, I don't think many people know this. I just want to clarify.
Can you tell the story? I didn't know this.
So Evo was basically the biggest tournament, obviously, right? And there was a huge fuss about Evo. It's like, oh, I won all these majors. Yeah, but we don't give a fuck if you haven't made a top 8 in Evo, right? So before then, I think JDCR won once, me won once, but not a lot of Koreans even went to Evo. And, JDCR and Saint are both like really close friends of mine. And we're just having this talk about Evo. And then I was like, you guys going to Evo this year? And then they're like, no, not really. I was like, why? They're like, just no reason. Like, they're like, we don't really care about proving ourselves. And I was like, well, I'm going to go this year. And that was my first Evo ever. So, so then I was like, well, how about this? Why don't you join my team and I'll sponsor both of you guys to go. And if you win, we'll work out a
deal.
A percentage. But if you lose, then it's all on me. Yeah. And then they're like, okay, this sounds pretty good. So we worked it out. We even got them T-shirts.
Which JD said didn't wear because he's a fucking asshole.
It was cold, so whatever.
So you put on another shirt.
Yeah.
You can wear 2 shirts at once.
Saint
It's
wore
not against the
his.
law.
Saint wore his.
Yeah.
And
Saint is Bay.
What a nice fella.
He's
Saint
the
and
nicest.
JDCR went that year, and the Saint won. JDCR didn't make it to top 8.
Yeah,
Was
I
this
think he
20?
came ninth.
Was this the first year of DR?
You mean FR?
FR.
no,
That's
this-
the word.
It was. It was
This was
before
the year that
release.
Punko came third. You love that. Fuck you.
Street Fighter God.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So then, purely because they won Evo, they got a lot of recognition.
yeah,
And
thanks to you, because you fucking flew their asses
Yeah,
there.
kind of.
And Jenny said didn't wear the T-shirt. What an
no,
asshole.
I didn't think of it like that.
I know, I'm
I think
kidding.
both of those guys deserve recognition. Like
100%.
honestly, in my opinion,
Yes.
that's why I wanted to. Like they were not that well known at that time, right?
But you did create the opportunity. That is
Okay.
like just you can't. You write on a piece of paper. You take the opinions out of it. That's how it
Yeah,
is.
it's like
Yeah.
if you weren't in the equation, there wouldn't be either. Plain and simple.
Soon after that, they got sponsored by Echo Fox, and I remember they were telling me they're like, look, we're gonna go to a blah blah blah, like a different team, and this is like real, like a
It's
proper
a proper
team.
job.
And I was like, yeah, man, of
Yeah.
course.
You got
know.
future endeavored.
Yeah,
like
no,
it
no,
happens.
that's fine. And I told them that's fine. And they went along. They went to Echo Fox. I think almost a year I didn't meet Saint. Then you see him winning all these tournaments, going to all these tournaments, winning all of it. Became like a star now. JDCR and Saint just became a star. Like then on, they became really big. And I still see Saint. I saw him like a year later. He's put on a fuckloads of weight. He's put on like 10 kilos. And this is the thing that I wanted to say that I had when I was traveling is when you travel and play Tekken, your life really isn't balancing. Like you don't sleep well, you eat anything that you see, you don't eat well. I tried to have a good diet as well. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that was one of the main reasons when I got back to Australia. I was
You
like,
told me about
yeah, I was like, I just want to stay home. I just want to wake up. I want to go to the gym. I want to eat some salad and not some freaking like an American sized fried something, where it's just destroying my health. And I just want to,
Live a good life.
Yeah,
Live
I
a
want
good
to. I
life.
want to get myself, back to my life again. And Saint tells me that as well. He's like, I love being a pro gamer because that was like my dream. But sometimes I don't want to be a pro gamer as
Yeah,
well.
it's
Like
hard.
now, he's like, now it feels just like a job. And I was like,
A
do you
lot of
enjoy all
people
the
say
traveling? He's like, I was like, do you enjoy all the traveling? He's like, I do. I love the people, but it's definitely more like a job now. Like sometimes I don't want to play. And Saint was going through like this massive issue with his stick. And he
was-
could,
yeah.
they like he just could not sleep. He was just fixing up a stick, trying to find the perfect stick.
Shout outs to Hayden, who was constantly actually, I don't know if people know this.
Blanca EX.
Blanca EX. Actually, shout outs to Hayden. He was actually always helping Saint. Like Saint would hit up Hayden all the time, asking you about like advice on stick parts and stuff
So
like
is
that.
this like the Tekken like bro science lever nonsense? That,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Except this is tried and tested by an actual Evo champion.
yeah,
So
okay.
this is
Tekken
bro science. This
bro
is like
science.
legit. But yeah, just shout outs to Hayden for actually like for being so fucking knowledgeable about sticks and helping the likes of fucking Saint and shit. So
Yeah, well, Hayden came out of nowhere because I had a huge stick problem, and I've tried.
Hey,
I did.
I also have a huge stick problem. Got him. No.
Yeah, so I had a big problem, and he fixed it. We've gone through like almost like 20 sticks. We've fixed my stick issue, so I'm happy with where I am, and Saint's kind of happy with. He's making a Saint lever, which is coming out soon.
Are you meant to give that information up?
No, I think no.
Okay.
I think yeah. But
Pretend you didn't hear that.
no. I think it's cool
okay.
with everyone
Okay.
knowing that he's making a stick, and it's gonna be partnershiped with Kwamba, and
makes
Kwamba
6 sticks.
is gonna be releasing their first Korean stick
Ooh.
because Kwamba doesn't have a Korean stick.
I know.
Like out of the box with the lever
Yeah, yeah,
ready to go.
Well,
That's
Korean
yeah.
level.
So Saints,
Ah.
he's in the middle of talking to them and making that. And last time he told me the stick is almost finished, and
Nice.
he will give me a copy of it once he gets it.
Nice.
So so that's one of the things that going back to the question is a lot of reason of the traveling is going to all these TWT events really screws up your health, your sleeping, and like everything. Like the Tekken's awesome. You don't sleep for the next 6 days that you're in Japan. Everyone is trying to challenge you. You want to play everyone. You know, like there's just too much happening.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Cool.
Some exclusive information here, IDEP, by the way. Damn, we didn't even know saying with the lever. Not bad, not bad, not bad.
That was quite the history lesson.
That was good.
A lot.
Did you enjoy the TWT finals?
Uh,
Actually, before you answer that, can you tell everyone that's watching how much money you lost to me on side bets?
I probably lost around.
Huh?
Oh, and
Well,
Stefan.
okay,
And Stefan.
just from the people.
Hold on. First, how much did you lose to Stefan?
Okay, altogether from the people in the room,
Just how? Okay. Oh.
I can't remember. It was around $600.
I was the biggest winner with a 200 large.
Oh yeah,
200.
yeah, 200.
200 large.
So shall I get into the results of TWT, and then we'll talk about whatever other bullshit. We'll just-
Actually, before we get into results, I want to tell results about Perth and the mini major that they had over there.
true.
Yeah, we should have said
Serves
that.
you right for not rounding
Alright,
up the
so,
rules.
um,
Do you want me to pull up the results? What's
Ga-
the event? You can do it.
Games happen that don't matter. Yes, Bass won Street Fighter.
Who won Street Fighter?
Yes, Bass.
Who's that?
He's
Dawson
a Dawson
player.
player.
He's pretty good.
He's
Okay.
really good.
What state?
Perth.
Perth. Okay.
I
He's an
mean,
online
Yeah,
warrior.
yeah, okay.
What else? Dragon Ball Fighters. Salted Pete won. He's the best in Perth. That's free. MKX happened. I came third. And
I like how every other game's like top one, but in the game Youssef makes
Sinja,
top three.
Sinja won. Soul Calibur, a really good killick from Perth won. And Abdul came second. So I came fifth, by the way, for anyone's wondering. And Tekken happened. And everyone up to fourth was Perth. And then the 3 instances that made it came top 3. Abdul came second. Abdul came third. Erx came second. And I came first. So, yeah, I won a major. Mini major, but a major.
Congratulations.
Just the list of accolades, just keep on getting longer and longer. Anyway, but seriously, shout out to Perth. It was honestly a sick event. They expected about 50 people to show up. I think all up about 70 showed up. So for a 1 day mini major all the way in Perth, that's actually pretty solid effort. And they're looking to make it a 2-day event next year.
Good.
And it'll be ran around the same time. So I know I'm giving everyone like about a year notice, but if you can, I know tickets are expensive, but the Perth scene is so accommodating and everything's really nice and like you'll have a good time. So if you guys want to come out and support Perth next year, I'll be there. I'll 100% be there. Dion wanted to come, but he literally wanted to book 2 nights before and tickets were fucking expensive. So he's like, maybe next time. So yeah.
Shout outs to Perth. Get on the map.
Shout outs to Perth. I mean, we want to see more majors in Australia. So we want to see more events, and we're always down to support new events. So please, as they say, build it and they will come. So shout outs to Perth.
All right.
Should we touch on IESF a bit?
Oh yeah, we should touch on IESF.
Okay. We got time.
Can we touch on how an Arab, a master racer, won IESF? Can we touch on that?
Okay, so okay.
And can we touch how he is the only person you lost to actually at that tournament?
We covered we have covered the results before.
Not IESF.
I think
maybe.
But anyway, we'll hear from. I want to hear Dion's perspective on things.
So before I played Sora, before I played him, I had a lot of people messaging me, like Dojin. I had talk with Snake from Taiwan. A lot of people messaging me and telling me about how much of a good player they think he was, right? And I've never experienced it before.
Was that before that he played you or after he played you?
Before he played me.
Oh, okay.
Everyone told me, this guy is good. And I was like, how good? And then they're like,
Master Race good.
he's like
mean?
It's like hitting a brick. He's solid as hell. So I knew what I was up against when I played him. When I played him in tournament, after I lost in ISF, the first thing that came to my mind, and I kid you not, and I think I wrote this to you. I was
sent me a
and
message.
I said,
this guy's gonna
win the tournament.
And then I was ready to bet $250 on him. Dude, he still has Chanel, Hako. And then you're like, dude, he's gonna win the tournament. I'm
the reason why I said that straight away after I lost, his style is so different. his style is so different. I think Tekken nowadays is not about how good you are, how much experience you have. Your style is really important to you.
Unique.
Yeah, like the Pakistan guy, like Aslam. Like,
Aslan is
dude,
so good.
his style is, not only is he good, his style is different as well. It's not just playing another Korean, you know? The night before the ISF finals, I played Hako, I played like all of the guys there, and I didn't play Sora. Sora never came out to the casual events.
Whoa, smart. Sandbagging, no, I don't respect that.
So when he beat me, I was like, I honestly think this guy's gonna win ISF. Not because he's like so good. He is really good, but he's so different. It's like if you go on YouTube, you're not gonna see a lot of Saudi Arabia like Tekken videos, and no one really goes out of their way to look for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up Saudi Arabia.
But I know for a fact that when Koreans and Japanese, when they play him, they are not gonna adjust. That's how I felt, and I could feel as the match went on, he was downloading really fast. Like he was adapting fast. He expanded his move usage, his timing, like everything about that was just good. So I was like, if they're gonna play a long set with this guy, I have a feeling he's gonna win. And I wrote that to Australia. I was like, dude, I will bet you that this Arab's gonna win.
Can you tell them about the prince?
Oh yeah, so we were at ISF and there was this prince, and he's and you know when the finals is like flags on the left and right side, and I've never seen the Saudi Arabia flag
green.
before.
It's
got a freaking sword in the middle of it.
Sword.
And then I was making a joke. I was like, who the hell has a sword as a flag? And the prince who was there, they was just joking around. He's like, he is loose. I am cut off his head. And I was like, right. That's what these
That's
swords
what you
mean,
want,
right? And he's like, he is win. He is a big house with gold and a women. I was like, right. And you just see like this, and I was like, well, this guy is down 2 rounds, so he actually got demolished the first 2 rounds. And then, like, because he plays with his feet up, he just like scrunched up in a ball.
Okay.
He doesn't sit down. And then, like, as soon as he lost 2 rounds, you can see him just like laughing a little bit, and he sits down a bit. And I was like, this looks like
He's taking the weights off.
yeah. I was like, this looks like he's going into like Super
Super
Saiyan
Saiyan,
form
yeah,
now.
yeah.
And then he won. And then the prince was just like,
No cutting.
Yeah,
no
yeah,
cutting.
he's like,
No
it,
cut.
it looks like, well, this guy just survived for another day, you know.
Nice.
And it was a real big event. The prime minister was there. The prime minister of Taiwan was there. The whole schedule was late because
Because it's esports, and that's what happens.
no, because the prime minister was there and the security was so high, the players were not allowed to go in. Especially like there's like third world country players that they think that were gonna.
Oh, so the
bomb
prime
the
minister
place.
wanted to show up, so then the racism just started like getting thrown out.
Well, pretty much because
That's pretty great.
there's third world country
not, but it's
players
great.
there, and then the Taiwanese must have thought that it could be dangerous, so it was really strict with security that day that I was there. So everything was late.
Was the security
well,
strict just for the Tekken players?
It kind of doesn't
No,
make
everything.
for
Everything.
Okay.
Well, it's like, why you have security but at the same time have Arabs inside the venue? Got him. Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
So that was that. Yeah, I got to meet a lot. Like I've traveled a lot to Asia. I've traveled to America, mainly Asia and America, and I know a lot of the players. But ISF was a complete new experience because there were just a lot of people that I've never met, and just random countries, especially like Europe. A lot of like everyone says that Europe is free. A lot of you, okay. Like,
The main known Euro players aren't as good as they get
look.
get credit for. Like there are some, like I think Tishuman's good. I think Sim's good. That's about it from like the big names,
Okay.
in my opinion.
My opinion on Euro players have changed a bit. I'll tell you why. So, I've played maybe about 3 or 4 Euro players in my life, and they're all considered as like the high level in Europe. So I've played Vincent, who's Super Akuma. I played him.
Can you tell everyone the result between you and Super Akuma?
I'm not giving any results for anything.
Tell him.
No, that's fair.
I want to tell him.
No, because I don't.
Tell him.
Like I don't talk about results because I don't think an unofficial result means that much.
I
Like,
think- I think
do you know how much people go,
I think 20
dude,
nil is a
Dion, I
very
go
official
6-4 with you, and I tell them, dude, you don't make it out of your pools, man.
Yeah, that's right, Dan
Like,
Banter. Oh, what? I didn't say that.
Like, I don't, look, I'm not talking about any results for anything, but Vincent, Super Kuma, he's very offense orientated.
He plays Akuma. What else do you want
So-
him to do? Block?
Yeah, but not
We don't
only
do that
like,
in Street
he-
Fighter. No, that's not how we do things.
But Vincent is not a Street Fighter player at all. So his main game was Tekken. He was a League player, and he converted to Akuma when Akuma came out.
When he was broken.
He played like I didn't felt anything too like out of the ordinary. Like it was pretty normal. Like good player, offense. If you know how to get around the offense, he was okay. But ISF, I'll tell you who really made me feel like EU is not free.
That Serbian guy?
No, he wasn't. He was. Is he? Is that? Okay, I don't
Apparently
know.
he was going evens with Knee.
He was beating Knee and casuals. Maybe I don't know. But okay.
You can't really-
yeah.
yeah.
But I'll tell you who I thought was really good. Daniel Mato.
Who's that?
He's the best player from Italy. He was
Oh, yeah.
Daniel Mato.
Yes, a lot of people have been talking about him. They say he's good.
So
Who does he use again?
He plays Jin.
Jin, this character is so good in this game.
He is freaking insane.
It's honestly, Jin is so good.
Well-
People don't.
Forgetting about another Italian fighter.
What's his name?
Italian
Do we
Jin.
have a list?
Instead of God fisting, they do
What's
these
his
ones.
name?
The guy that does this?
I'll give you a hint.
The guy- yeah.
Okay, what's his
Grelanda.
Grelanda.
Hey, Grelanda.
Do Italian, like they do this instead of God fisting?
No. Grelanda. He does this.
Oh.
Every time he won, he would like.
He's-
Oh.
Well,
thought-
I showed that video to my
He'd be
friend,
Dimebag. That's
I thought I was funny.
and yeah. So okay, so let's just finish this ISF things first. So I played Daniel Mato, and I was actually very impressed. The way he plays was very, how do I say this? Very clean, like very honest game.
But effective.
Very effective.
Yeah.
I think actually really good. Like, let me put it this way: he was playing a mirror match against Book, and he was winning.
Whoa.
Okay, like he was winning. Maybe Book, like I said, unofficial results don't mean that much.
Book was playing a bit off that weekend. He went 0-4 in his pool. It's not usual Book.
No. ISF we're talking
Oh,
about.
my bad.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so ISF.
Sorry, yeah.
Book came to ISF as a coach.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was good. But you know, I was watching Book destroy Hakayo, like absolutely demolish. It was like 90% Book's way, right?
Yeah.
And we asked Hakayo, like, what do you think of Book? And he goes, this guy is not human. And this is coming from the guy that, yeah, he's coming from like one of the top Japanese players, you know? So like Daniel Mato really impressed me. I think the way he played. One of the only reasons that I think that I was winning more than he was purely because
Experience?
no, I don't think it was experience. And this I have to this happens a lot in IESF is the countries that didn't have as much players, like as a big scene, they did not have exposure to the amount of experience on the amount of characters.
Yeah, so experience.
Exactly. So, well, no. I thought you mean like taking experience. I'm talking more like character knowledge.
I'm just saying experience in general.
Okay. So, they don't have knowledge
yeah.
on geese.
So, for example, like they might play a certain character a lot, and like that will be any doesn't matter. Like for example, let's say what's it, Daniel Mato or whatever.
Yeah.
That guy, like he plays a king all the time.
Yeah.
And that king is really good. So he plays Hakayo. He fucking ruins Hakayo. You know what I mean? Because he knows king. But then like he's never played Jack at all, and then he plays you, and then you completely destroy him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He like my Jack was losing more, but Geese was winning much more purely because I could just feel he didn't know Geese. Yes, and you're saying that in the EU, like there is not that many like really high level Geese. That's what he was saying.
I can't think of any.
Yeah. So and who else did I play? I played I played the Raven that played me in tournaments. I can't remember where it's from. The one that got me last game, last round.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Begins with N.
I don't know.
Okay. And I played the other Raven, which was on True Tekken Gold Prime in EU. He's the highest rank in EU.
The Phantom?
Nah, he was the one. He actually lost to Banter in ISF. So anyway, like I played all the EU players. I think they're good, and I remember Daniel Mato telling me that he cannot beat Super Akuma. But in my opinion, he is a better player. Okay, so I think styles definitely impact Tekken at the moment. Yeah.
Ninda, Tunisia. Ninda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a really good player. Like the Raven player was really good. Like, I actually really rated him as a player. Like he messaged me right after I beat him. He's like, "Dude, I'm salty as fuck that you beat me, but good game." And I was like, honestly, like I took that really well.
That was close. No.
No, yes, I thought it was the way he took it was really nice. Like, good player.
That's cool.
So, just to sort of put a bow on the IESF stuff, because we haven't even touched World Tour Finals yet, so I assume we're going to run a bit long, which is fine.
That's fine.
You know, we're talking about all these different play styles. That footage is all on YouTube, right?
Yeah, most of it is.
ISF, I think so, yeah.
So I guess if you're interested in that, you know, give it a look just to sort of see, because Tekken is because of how open-ended 3D games are in general. It's like you can sort of characters are canvases in which you can sort of paint yourself on.
True.
So I think IESF is a really good for anybody who even sort of understands a little bit about Tekken to see how different styles of the game can sort of be applied. So I guess if you're interested, like check all that stuff up. But man, we got to get into TWT because this is a pretty heavy weekend.
And then the spice at the end.
And the spice.
Okay.
If we got time, we'll get to that. But I'll just run through. I'll run through the top 8. We'll talk. I want to talk about the format. I want to talk about the announcements, all that stuff. But just to run through the top 8, should we go? Should we add characters? We'll do characters because it's a Tekken episode. Whatever. So tied for 7th, we have Yamasa Nobi with Dragonov and what's that? Equinox.
Steve.
Yeah, Equinox.
With Joe Fury,
So
Jack 7.
What? Nobi and Joey.
Joey.
And Joey Fury came last.
7th.
So they're in the top 8. Yep. Okay.
And we'll get through the full results first. But tied for 5th, Jimmy J Tran with Brian, and UIU John Dean with Lucky Chloe and Eddie. 4th, Rox Chanel with Eliza and Alyssa. 3rd, we got Rox Nee with Devil Jin and Lily. 2nd, last year's winner UIU Q-Dance with Devil Jin. And in 1st place, for Sans Rangchu with Geese, Feng, and
Panda.
So let's talk about that result first of all. A Panda player winning TWT finals.
That was actually high.
Was there any precedent for this at all? Coming to this event, did anybody pick this guy?
Well,
I
lost $600 because I did not believe it.
Yeah,
like, that's how much.
And remember when we were watching it at BKB, I'll go to you. Rangchu at worst is gonna win. Finish top 3.
And I said no.
Yeah.
I just said
I
straight up
you
no.
watch. He's gonna finish up, and then he got demolished by Nee. I'm like, doesn't matter. I still believe. Like, I just felt he was playing good. I was just watching because I was watching him before. I'm like, man, that. And the reason I knew he was playing good, and this might sound like really far fetched or like doesn't make sense, but I saw him play, and then in my head, watching him get these wins against like Devil Jins and better characters, I'm like, man, Panda isn't as good. I'm not saying Panda sucks, but I'm like, man, Panda isn't as good as a character as some other characters that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
But he's still getting the fucking wins. And that's why, like, it really showed me the difference in T's at that level. And then in my head, I'm like, he's making me see the difference in T's, but he's still fucking winning. That's why I'm like, Ranchu's gonna go far.
One thing that stuck out to me in grand finals as like a sort of a 3D layman was how... maybe he wasn't, but Q-Dans looked to be playing so safe, so reserved the entire time against a fucking Panda. The amount of just movement and like low like risk options he was risking against that Panda player. Meanwhile, that like Rangchu just sort of get into his rhythm and like it seemed like he was risking bigger options a lot more frequently because he just had a more comfortable rhythm.
At the beginning, but after, if you noticed, it was actually Q-Dans who had to start going balls through the wall.
Because he didn't like it seemed like he didn't know
why he couldn't crack his defense.
What was your take on it, Dion? That like just that grand final set specifically? Because
I think I know for a fact that when these two players play, Kurans is generally on top. So that's why I was gonna bet. I was like, well, it's for him to reset the bracket and win. It's gonna be very hard, right? Especially because Devil Jin's very, very hard mentally to deal with for like 2 sets.
Yeah.
Right?
He's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Fucking hell sweep,
So But one thing what I've noticed is Kuran's was really scared, exactly what you're saying, and he was not on point. Like Bear's 442 was coming out all the time. There was no punishes on that move.
He never punished you once.
There's no punish on that move because I think
4-3+4. I'm pretty sure it should punish it.
Dude, Kuran did a dash electric easily, but I think he's just not. He wasn't aware. He wasn't prepared. He was just really scared. I think that's the thing about Tekken. Like I can't really say that Galanda is better than all these people that came to the last chance qualifier or Kokoma, but I showed this video to Jin. When we're like, because we're learning cat as well, so we're like, hey, let's just study this guy. Jim watched it for the first like few minutes. He's like, I don't need to watch the rest. I know he won. I was like, why? He's like, because when he won the first game, he stood up and he just lifted up his hand. And I was like, why does that have any influence about him winning the game? He's like, you can see that he's very comfortable with the environment and he's very comfortable with being on stage, and his tournament experience on stage and his vibe is good. And Double is just sitting there quiet and he's scared.
He cried. He made Double cry.
Yeah, Raven Boy in the chat like says it's kind of like Meta ID winning Capcom Cup. Except Birdie Season 2 was fundamentally not a functional character, but I feel like Panda is just like dumpster, right? He's not good, right?
Tekken isn't as tier list oriented as Street Fighter.
Whereas especially in that grand final specifically, it's like imagine you have a set of rules and then in the room next door you've got Season 2 Birdie. And like Takedo, it's a little different, but in terms of how left field is, maybe that comparison.
To put it into perspective, like Devil Jin is like a top 3 character, and Panda is like a bottom 10 character.
But he still sort of apart from maybe a couple like juggles here and there, he still conforms within.
Like no, like Panda plays is very much a Tekken character. Like
she
plays. Sorry, 2018. Yeah. She plays. Very Tekken.
They're right. Yeah. Season 2 Birdie is like, there's just...
Colin, fuck off! You fucking whinger! Seriously, bro. Stop complaining about Lars. There's an entire roster you can pick from. Western women! I hate you!
How do you think just the finals format... what's the general perception around the finals format? So there were, 4 groups of 5 players.
It's cool.
And then there was one LCQ this year?
Yeah, one LCQ.
And how do those spots open up? Is that a case of like... Because there's no guaranteed spots.
Top 19 qualify, and then the 20th spot is LCQ. That's literally how it works.
Okay.
And people are generally happy with the format. There were a bit of controversy. I don't want to say mad controversy with JDC and Joey Fury. But like, the results that ended up happening were the correct results. It's just like... The TOs took a second to realize, hold on, we actually have measures for this kind of shit, and we just forgot about them. So
and both parties seem to handle it. So give a bit of context onto exactly what happened.
So what happened is JDCR and Joey Fury both had the same amount of wins and losses, and so they decided to run a 1-1, and whoever won that would qualify. However, what they didn't take into account the game's differentials, and Joey Fury was actually ahead.
Yeah.
And then they realized that after that played the first one and JDCR won the first one, that Joey Fury should just automatically qualified because on games differential, and they actually had the rules set up for that, in case something like that happened. So that's why they had to reverse the decision.
But it sounded like both parties sort of took that one quite well.
Yeah, everyone was cool, but that's about it.
Well, JDCR made a tweet on the same day. He's like, no, like he didn't take anything personally. Like good luck for Joey Fury, and I'm looking forward to playing Armor King.
Nice.
But you think the round robin format is kind of...
I think that's fair.
I like it.
I think if you don't make it out of your pools in this round robin format, then you don't deserve to make it out of it.
Because you get to play everyone.
ISF was the same, was round robin, and I knew in my mind, I was like, if I don't make it out in my pool, I don't fucking deserve to be out. But for my ISF, I had to make it first place. If I made it second place, I would have had to play Chanel first game, and I did not want that.
No one wants to play.
No, that's why I was like, against a Serbian player, I was like, I have to win this. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
One thing I don't like, and I know a lot of Japanese Tekken tournaments do it as well, it was just for the LCQ specifically, which was the day before, how they jump a lot, like they jump between match to match. Like they have this inherent fear of like any sort of downtime. So like even if it's it was like 2 out of 3, but they'd sort of cut the match and go somewhere else, right?
No, yeah, I don't like that. I like to see the entire match.
Because it doesn't give you
And
the it doesn't give you the storyline.
Yeah, that's fine. I reckon run the entire match, have a minute downtime. There's 328 people at LCQ. You're not gonna run out of matches to fucking put on stream.
Baxter in the chat makes a question with regards to the 4 groupings of the players. So is it
It's random.
The top 4 seedings? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4 in the 4 pools, and then people picked, right?
No. I think the way it works, I didn't watch it this year because I was at a wedding reception. But I think the way last year first is top seed gets first pick, and he gets his name, and he gets to put it anywhere on the board.
Well, Dave in the chat saying top four were put into the different pools,
and then
I think they went down the seeds, and everyone got to pick a spot, which is
that's fine.
I don't know, whatever. Like I don't think there's
fine.
tour is doing it right.
That's fine.
Do you think it gives anyone sort of inherent advantage? Like everyone's good at this point.
That didn't make people verse their spouses.
Oh,
the
dear.
context for this is Jason and Chi went to EVO Japan this year, and they were actually, because I'm guessing they signed up after each other.
Right.
Like Japan being the fucking greatest country in the world when it comes to running tournaments, they put them as their first match.
Yeah.
So Jason had to verse his wife as the first match after he flew all the way to EVO Japan. So great stuff, Japan.
People think we're like talking shit on Japanese
tournaments.
They have a reputation
worst.
for
The
a reason.
worst.
It's like it's comical.
And they don't even try to like make it better.
Well, I couldn't even find my freaking pools because no one spoke English. Like,
Yeah.
they just get randoms to run the tournament. Like they don't even know anything about FGC or like Tekken or running tournaments.
But back to a good tournament. So format was good. I thought the stream was good. I thought a lot of the commentary pairings were friggin' phenomenal. Like
it was good.
I thought Steve and Ryan Hart were actually like
Ryan Hart felt a bit off. I think he was trying a bit too hard to be relevant.
but he's still like he's still sort of coming into his own as a
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to seeing him in 6 months if he sticks with it.
But he complimented Steve well.
Yeah.
I think in general the one thing Tekken has been lacking is just a like really top tier commentary talent across the board.
Aris, who
Well, everyone loves him, but
he's good, and I don't know why they keep putting like.
you don't have to drop names. But in general,
why? Like, how are the people gonna? I don't know why they keep putting Markman in top 8. Like,
you know why they
he
keep
is
putting Markman.
Terrible at
But
commentating. Terrible.
I think in general, from a layman's perspective, Tekken commentary is getting better.
Yeah.
Whereas before, as someone who like had a fair, like basically zero understanding of Tekken, I'd watch it. The commentary would be dry as paint, and you'd get no context. Whereas I felt this event, like it was better.
I like
Tekken is trending in the right direction on that side.
I like
of things.
Rip. I honestly think Rip is mad underrated.
Rip
out of
paired
the
with the right
commentators,
person.
I think
is good.
Like the top 2 would be Rip and Aris, in my opinion.
And they pair well together.
And I reckon that would go very well together.
So from that side of things, I thought like the production was good, the pairings were good. It made it because Tekken can be a very good spectator sport. Tekken can also be a rubbish spectator sport. And if you sit there and just throw numbers at me, like nice 4 forward 7 underscore 12 close bracket, like that means nothing to me. You need decent commentators to sort of close that gap. And I felt they did a better job of doing that with this tournament. But yeah, what were your takeaways from the announcements?
I'm still erect.
You're still erect.
Even though I wanted Zafina more than anything else,
I want to gun you.
I'm still erect.
But, when they made the announcement, that was pretty
Look,
hype.
if for anything, I'm just beyond excited. I can actually show you guys the messages. I posted in one of the chats. I've watched Abby's reaction to Mardok. Like I was 10 minutes late coming back from my lunch break because I watched it another 2 times after my lunch break because it goes for like 5 minutes and a bit. I've watched it at least 10 times, and that video just brings me so much, like, makes me feel so good on the inside.
Yeah.
Seeing someone who I fucking love so much, just so genuinely happy and ecstatic and hype, seeing his boy come back. Like, that means the world to me. Like, seriously, I've seen that clip like at least 10 times since yesterday night. At least. I just watch it and I'm like, oh my god, this is the greatest shit ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Julia and Armor King, they were pretty much always going to come back, in my opinion, and like a toss-up on the 3rd.
I like that she's a cam girl now. I think that's a really nice arc for her.
It's cool.
It's
I mean,
really it's good.
She's always you know.
Did you guys see the thing on Kappa where they like someone made the screenshot with like the top donator was like Gunryu and
Oh yeah, bro.
it's such a good shit
It's
post. I
good,
love
it's
this
good.
community.
It's good. It's good. So, look, I think, like you said, they wanted to, like, you know, appease a lot of people. They wanted to, you know, give the people what they wanted, and fuck, you know, they're doing good by everyone.
Have you seen much as far as gameplay goes? I saw a lot of like, was it fake Armor King stuff in terms of stuff not comboing in a certain, like there's some really like day one bad reactions to some
he's
stuff.
released now. So I've been playing Armor King all day today actually, and he feels similar to Tag 2.
Yeah, Rex said the same thing.
He feels similar to Tag
Very
2.
well-rounded, he reckons.
Everyone thinks he's going to be really strong. I can already see some flaws in the character already. He's got pretty weak lows, in my opinion. Downfall's range got nerfed quite a fair bit.
What about down back 4?
The drop kick.
Oh, sorry, down back 3, my bad.
Down back 3 is decent. The range isn't as good as it looks, first of all, and it has really terrible tracking. It used to actually have decent tracking. So I've tried him out, and I realized he can look. The thing about lows is to make people duck, right? But he can make people duck in other means. For example, using a lot of highs. Okay. So he's like, I can see that if JDCR was going to play this guy, it's going to be like wave dashing in your face and doing a lot of highs and grabs and highs, electrics, grabs, and then he's going to be mixing up with mids. I don't think he's got a lot of lows to work with. They're okay. Like they're not horrible. They're okay. Apart from that, the character's excellent.
Have you tried Marduk?
I've tried Marduk. His damage is fucking absurd. Like
nice,
really good.
Do you think they're doing a situation like? So there was a slight balance patch that came with these characters, right? Do you think they're doing a situation where this is sort of like the beta period until the start of the next season when they'll sort of tweak everything one more time?
Yeah, they always change the
They
characters.
always change a bit, yeah.
How do you guys
Especially with
feel
new
about that?
characters.
Oh, did you know Geese got nerfed in this patch?
Yeah, 15% less.
Yeah, I was like, I actually didn't realize. I was what? Geese got nerfed? Okay.
Why would you not nerf Geese?
Because I think...
I reckon that's a smart nerf. Where you don't essentially change the way he plays, you just change the way his meter build. His moves is still the same.
Yeah. So it's basically meter management's a bit more important.
Yeah, you just have to worry a bit more.
But because he was such a favorite character, there was so many Geeses around. And I think he's definitely really strong, but I didn't think he was broken at all.
No, see, one thing I noticed with the way they try to balance Tekken, where if something kind of doesn't work, like within a certain set of rules that they have, even if it's like not broken, they're trying to kind of align it. You know what I mean? So, and that's what they felt like, which is actually funny because I was surprised like they nerfed Geese's damage, but like they didn't touch Akuma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But maybe because Akuma isn't doing as well as Geese, they thought maybe he's alright. Because Akuma's way riskier.
I spoke to Nee at ISF and I asked him for top 5. He put Akuma in top 5. Yeah.
Nee kind of knows Nee things. So.
Yeah. He kind of he's his own tier.
Oh, yeah, it is. Like,
you know who put the best character in the game? Jin.
Yeah, well, remember, I don't know if you were me, Eli and Rek were talking the other time, and we reckon Jin is the second best character in the game after Heihachi.
He actually wasn't in these top 5.
Yeah, well, that's what currently Sydney is think at the moment.
This is the white boy thinking and the Asian guy.
We're not white though. We're not white.
Yeah, Dion, please share your thoughts on how Heihachi isn't top tier.
I don't think Heihachi. I think Heihachi is good. I don't think he's top tier.
Okay.
I think he's lacking tracking to one side. I think his lows are not as good as there's lows.
Wait, his low. He has one low.
He's got a few.
Well, I started down back to what are we gonna use?
Crouching down for 4. That is a.
I was using a full crash down for, but like.
JDCR doesn't use any of those two.
I know he doesn't use any lows.
I told you, uses highs to make people duck. Like, low, let's put it this way: low is a risk. Okay. The only reason I use a lot of lows against a lot of players is because they just physically cannot block these lows. Okay. At a really high level, they block a lot of lows. So why do I need to take risks doing a low when I could result to using a lot of highs to make them duck and using mids? So JDCR just does a lot of highs.
He does.
He does. So he makes them duck in a different way. And
Stefan.
I mean, I think he actually is good, but I really don't. I don't know, man. I don't think he's top tier. And no one really plays Heihachi at a really high level anyway.
Yeah.
What? What?
No, I'm
Yeah,
serious.
Alright.
It's true.
It's true. There's
You haven't seen me.
How many
my-
Hiachis
my-
have you-
My clean Hiachi 2 electric combos.
Go back. Go. Go.
We're in the Tekken weeds here,
Yeah.
so I think we should probably put a nice big bow on
No.
TWT. No? What are we missing?
All right. So
We're putting a bow on TWT.
Oh, but detail.
So, like, I thought it was good. I understand basic 3D stuff. I thought it was good. I
It's
think
great.
generally everything is trending upwards for Tekken, and you guys just need to keep at it, and eventually, like, this inferiority complex of yours will be satisfied. I
I
promise.
liked how they showed more of Negan as well
Yes.
before the.
I'm looking
characters.
forward to Negan actually. Out of the 6 characters that are announced this season, I'm gonna try out Marak a bit and maybe Negan. Like they're the only 2 guys that I'm really interested in.
The Negan pick in Tekken I thought was really good. Like it was just really out of nowhere. Like everyone thought it was gonna be from another fighting game.
I'm actually happy it wasn't Kiryu Kazama, and I don't care who I'm gonna make upset by these comments, but I'm actually so glad it wasn't Kiryu Kazama.
That's for VF.
Oh, Kiryu, whatever his
Why?
name is. Because I don't know. I just like no.
It's smart. It's such a smart pick. They've already pulled from the well of like other fighting games, and like they've saturated this market. So they've just like left the building, and they're now trying to get people in off the street. They're smart. It is such a smart decision.
It's what Namco does, man. Smart decisions. We are fueled by smart decisions. So yeah, let's bring it. Let's end anything else. Let's end it on a local note. Thoughts on the Australian scene? Like, how do you think the states compare against each other, and how do you think Australia as a collective compare internationally? Be as brutal as you can. Like, come on,
hurt some feelings.
We're
You know,
friends.
hurt some feelings.
Oh, if you want to hurt feelings, by all means, the stage is yours.
Okay, let's just talk about how we are. Like a really, really honest opinion. Before I left and did all this traveling, I thought we were pretty shit. Like I think we were actually really shit. Not in a bad way. Like I thought the knowledge that we have and our players, like we're pretty bad. Like my personal opinion, right? Once I've traveled and I came back and I played a lot of places, like everyone says that, you know, the Philippines average is really high. Japan average is really high. After I actually got down and played a lot of the high level players, I've reconsidered that. I think we're not as bad as everyone thinks.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think we're as bad as everyone thinks.
Feeling myself.
We lack knowledge in some aspects of the game. However, we make up on it in other things. For example, although we don't know that this situation we could do this and this, but we find out a solution that we're just gonna do some real risky shit instead.
Yeah.
And then it got in this guy's head, and next time we did a hop kick and it worked. You know what I mean? Like, we've came up with this our own idea, and I think whatever we did, if we're playing internationally,
I agree with you,
a
Jordan.
lot
by
of
the way.
people will struggle against how we play as well.
That's good.
Read it, audio listener.
What is that?
What are you agreeing with?
Shade said, I think we don't have enough reason to get better besides because we want to. Which is true. Like, what reason, like, should me or you or anyone else in Australia get better for Tekken? Like, do we have these tours happening? Do we have these big tournaments happening? Besides, like, just straight up wanting to get better.
You could be one of the illustrious few who has 12 Twitter followers.
Yeah, like,
do you want to join the ranks of those
like,
people? I know I do.
Sponsorship is moot. Like, I don't know if you know this, but Naveed got released from. He's not with his sponsor anymore. It was a 6 months contract.
Really?
So yeah, and they didn't re-sign him. So like, you know, outside of Jackie, like no, there are no Tekken sponsors.
Well, Jackie didn't even go to any events. Like I don't even see him
There
around.
which events? Like,
I saw him at Evo Japan, I think.
yeah, he was at EVA Japan.
Well, look, when you play Tekken, I don't think anyone is there for, you know, anything else except for the fact that you just love the game.
Yeah,
That's
actually-
99% of fighting game players in
So
the country.
essentially,
period,
what you're telling
not
me
just
is
Tekken players.
we need to go back to the arcade era. That's why the only reason people played. Interesting. Food for thought. Yeah.
Like, I think the bubble's going to burst at some point, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen eventually.
It's not sustainable.
It's going to happen eventually. So
Esports
you might
is
as
an
well
illusion.
like play what you like, and if it happens to be Tekken, just do it. know?
In terms of, so I think globally, we're not horrible. Like everyone says, apart from Korea and Japan, the Philippines
Awesome.
average is really high. I mean, I played probably about 30 players in Philippines, and a lot of them are really good. I do agree, and a lot of them are just like the guys here. You know what I mean? And same for Japan. Like, I felt now playing a lot of the players there, it's just a lot of adaptation that you need to learn to be able to get a rhythm of how they play. But if it's in a tournament format of like a 1st to 2, they need to adapt to you as well. So I would put anyone against anyone nowadays.
Fair. How do you feel between the states? Bring it closer. Like, especially considering you have a lot of exposure in the 2 best states in Australia. You know, and I'm not being like throwing shade at any other state. Just like, I'm just being honest.
It's really hard to say. Like, if we're not counting like me and Navid, I honestly, I could not tell you who I think is better than in between Melbourne and Sydney.
Okay.
Like, not being on any one side, because I'm just gonna be upfront with it. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I really don't know, because last time Tin came over, he did beat everyone here.
He did good. He beat Andrew 10-5.
Yes, and look, and I think Tin's very confident in his game.
Very.
And I do think Tin is a good player. But I think one thing that everyone in Victoria or anywhere outside of Sydney needs to understand is, yeah, that did happen, but through that time, I think people have been putting a lot of effort and a lot of work, and I honestly think a lot of players are not as how they were a few months ago. Like, I think they've gotten better. You know what I mean? Like,
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, like heaps of people have gotten better. Like, they've learned to adapt. They've put in a lot of hours. I think a lot of players have just gotten better. So I mean, I don't know if Tin came back, he might still beat everyone. I don't know, but it definitely won't be as easy as last time. And even if he did it again, I don't know if he's going to do it a 3rd time. You know what I mean? Like, it's very, very hard to say.
It's constantly shifting. Like everything's constantly shifting is what you're saying. So it's hard to like pinpoint, these are like the best 5 players, or these are the best 10 players.
You mean in Sydney or
Australia?
In Australia? Yeah. I mean, I do think the average of, like, a lot of people have improved. That's what I'm trying to get to. And I think the people that improved, a lot of it is someone that's focused a lot on their own character. I think that's worked. For example, like, I know, like, Rex played Steve for a while, you know, or Eli's been playing a lot of Steve, and I think as the Steve knowledge went up, the player played better as well. One, like, Tin, everyone says Tin's really good, but I think Tin doesn't have a main character,
which is bad. I think that's a bad person.
I think that's horrible. The reason is, I watched his match against JT Chinoy in Evo, which he lost to, and he used Shaheen. He was trying to play really basic. Mid poke, low poke, launcher. And that is, like, honestly, that's how, like, a really high level Korean plays as well. But I think, like, do you remember how Marimo played? He just knew Hwarem inside out, and he just chucked shit out, and he's like, oh, that worked, I'm gonna do it again and again and again. And this guy didn't know, and then he just improved in Hwarem. And I think when you stay with one character, you can do that. Like, if you played Steve a lot, you know that level Steve that this guy understands, but level 2 he's lacking in this area, and I can do more on the second part. You know, but I can see that when Tim was playing, I honestly think he was better than JT. Like, my personal opinion as well.
I would say he is a better player than
I think he is, but because his character was so basic and the way he played was so basic against JT, he lost that set. And I felt really bad as well.
Essentially, he's saying he's spreading himself too thin. Instead of consolidating all his efforts into, like, the one character, instead of, say, being, like, at 80% with, like, one character, he's at like, 50% with, like, 5 different characters.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yes.
So, alright, that makes sense. And, so when are we... So,
So I mean, if Tin doesn't have a main, and he doesn't have matchups well in the past, in the future, he will have trouble against matchup specialist players. Like if I don't know if Eli and Rick continues to play Steve, I don't know, even if like someone like Yiggs continues to play Xiaoyu, like everyone says like, oh, Yiggs is easy, his Xiaoyu is easy. Yeah, okay, maybe like a few months ago it felt easy, but who the hell knows what he's been up to in the last God knows how long and what new tricks he's brought on the table for the next tournament. Like that's why I never underestimate any player when I'm playing in a tournament. I respect everything that everyone does. Yeah.
All right, I agree. Cool. So the topic earlier this year was when are you and Naveed gonna have a first to 10? Is there any chance this might be happening, or has the meta now moved to when are you and say like Aiken are gonna have a first to 10? You know, would that something you'd be interested in, or?
Well, look.
I mean, I would love to see you versus Aiken.
I mean, I would love to see me versus Aiken as well.
Do you think Aiken would love to see you versus Aiken?
I don't know. I mean, I'm.
Do we want to issue a call out to Aiken?
Well,
do we
look, Aiken. If you're ready to have a money match, first to 10, anything up to $5,000, I'm okay with. Actually, you know what? I'll put $10,000 on that if you want it.
Oh shit. I got peasant money. I only put 1K on Dion.
It's a lot of grands.
I'll put 10% of what he's putting.
Yeah, look, I'm happy to put 10K on the line.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm better or worse than you. Oof. But, you know.
We need to make this happen.
Look, honestly, there was a drama between me and Aiken.
We don't need to get into nitty gritty, but, you know.
But you know what I felt really funny about this was, I actually don't have any issues with Aiken. Do you remember how many times at a major I'm just like, yeah, go Aiken. Hey, I've got unlimited amount on Aiken. How many times have I backed him up?
I was just about to say, you know how much money you lost to me because you bet on Aiken?
Dude, I've probably lost over a K on Aiken, right? Yeah. And I actually have no hate for this guy at all. Anyone in Melbourne here could even back me up. The amount of times that I fucking drive this guy around, like take him to events, you know, like whenever this guy has fucking financial issues, like he's like,
you're chilling.
Dude, he's like, oh yeah, once in a blue moon, you lend me money. Yeah, if you call like 3 times a week, once in a blue moon, then then fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the fuck happened. Look, I rewatched the stream that he was talking shit. I know that he lost 2 death matches in a row, and he was probably a bit
going from an emotional.
Yeah, I can see he was a bit salty prior to this. I could see he was holding a lot of shit in. So I mean, I tried to not take a lot of things personally. But if I say like, Youssef, your Tekken sucks, but you're a fucking
motherfucker, perf.
No.
You think that was easy?
No. If I say your Tekken sucks, I'm sure you'll be like, all right, whatever, right? But if I just go like, you're just a faggot. Oh no, I mean, you're just like, you're just shit. You're just everything, all right? Like everything about your shit in real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get
like you get what I mean? Like,
I get you.
Like it's not like a level of a game, and Tekken is one thing, but when you go out of it, that's what I mean. Like the next level.
All right. Shall we issue another challenge to another person? Let's go international.
Okay.
Let's teach these kids that there are levels of respect that they need to adhere by. Do you want to speak to a gentleman by the name of Dan Banter?
I don't actually have any issues with Banter
I have
either.
many issues with Dan Banter. He's from New Zealand. He lives in New Zealand. I think he's from New Zealand. Call him out. That's enough for me. I've heard enough. I've had enough of these New Zealand people. Speak to him.
Okay. Okay. I remember at the start of the year when Banter was getting like destroyed online. Okay? Like he was getting, I don't know, man, like he was losing a lot, right? There was a lot of people, like he couldn't beat Aiken, he couldn't beat anyone. And which is fair enough. Like he was young, he was going into the game. He was always late at night playing. So we had a lot of sets at night. Like, honestly, he was pretty free. Like at that time, I thought he was pretty free. But one thing I really liked about Dan is I thought he had a really good attitude about learning the game. And so did Wowza. Like, both of those guys are young kids, but they've definitely put in a lot of hours. And as opposed to a lot of the players that I see here, like, they'd complain about a character, but they haven't put enough hours into the game to even say, like, you know, they deserve to complain about this character. Like, if you can't duck a fucking high, go home, go on practice mode, and just learn to duck this high. True. Right? These guys actually put in the effort. And I have spent fucking countless hours at night talking to Dan, not only about Tekken, and about, like, how he could just work out his mentality. Like, you know, like, I said, I don't think players, the skill gap is too big, but I do think even a better player will lose to a worse player if his mentality isn't good on the day. And, you know, I've talked to him a lot about just how to improve the game. And I remember we were, like, even when he was playing, was it IESF qualifiers, like in the finals, he was messaging me about his picks of his characters. Like a day before his tournament, he talked to me about...
He also picks random characters, which is, you know...
Yeah, he kind of picks... He kind of picks a lot. He talked to me about the characters he'd play. He talked to me... yeah, you know, like about all sorts of stuff. And... which was all good. Then he started winning a lot of the New Zealand events, which I thought was really good as well.
That's good.
And I
love to see young.
Yeah. No.
We're all for that.
But honestly, I'm not on Discord, and I'm not on as much media as a lot of people. But the amount of shit talk that I get from, like, another player transferring back to me about what Dan says, it just feels like
these kids.
It feels like a bit of a slap in the face because.
So essentially, what he's saying is you're calling him out to a first. There you go.
Well, yeah. Look, I'm happy to first attend anyone. Let's go. Like, I'm happy to first attend anyone if they want to.
Let's go New Zealand.
I don't give a fuck about, you know, who you think is better or worse. I will just play.
Yeah.
We have a video game for that, as it turns out. You can you don't have to do it with words. You can do it with.
Let's go. With Dan Banter. The gauntlet has been set.
More click,
I'm not. Look,
probably
get your ass to BAM.
No. Look, I don't think like me having a first to 10 even proves anything. Okay?
It does.
No, it doesn't. Do you know why? If I beat him or if I lose, it doesn't mean anything. Because let's bring it to a reality. He did come to the last major. He lost to Rec, right? He's pretty salty about that, right? He's very salty about it. Even Rec.
Oh, then he should money match Rec.
Well,
I'll put another 1,000 on Rec.
Well, it's not just he should money match Rec. He needs to just come here and just prove to him exactly, and just prove yourself in a major here. Do well. Like, there's no point of you, like, you know, like him saying how well he goes against this guy or that guy or Meat or this guy or whatever. But when it comes to tournament, you're not making it out of your pools. You know what I mean? Or your results are not there to show. His results has been actually good in New Zealand, though. In New Zealand. So
that's like you when you thought you were good in Melbourne and then came to Sydney and, you know, you got the up your...
So, I mean, I'm not... Look, I don't actually even know how he would go against... a lot of the players here. I don't know.
It'll be interesting to watch.
Like, I've seen Dan play recently. I do think he's improved. But Dan plays one specific style. And I think if it works, it works. And I think if it doesn't work...
It's not going to work.
It's about how he adjusts.
Yeah.
It's about how he adjusts. And bear in mind, not only he needs to adjust, the player that he plays against might adjust as well. And, you know, it's hard to say who's going to be better than who. So I don't think any first attempt is going to be important to anyone. I think the fact that he needs to just come here, I don't think talking like how I go against whoever is any relevant. I don't think talking a lot online about how good you think you are and how well you go against Koreans is even freaking relevant. I think you just like I don't ever just I don't
put up
go
or
like,
shut up, essentially.
yeah, I don't go like
You know.
before Philippines. I go like, hey man, I'm one of the best in Australia. I'm gonna go there and I'm basically gonna shit on everyone except maybe I'll even go like this against your top players. I don't say that, man. I just go there, I play my best, and I try to get my best result, and that is it.
Respect.
Right? Like, it's not a, like whatever I say. Like honestly, like I've had sessions where I've beaten Koreans more than they've beaten me,
Yeah.
but that means absolutely nothing when it comes to tournament, and they beat me 2-0.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. So I'll give you another example. Like when I play Ulsan and we're in a hotel, we go very even. But when in a tournament, when I played them last time, 2-0. And I was like, exactly. That is exactly it. Like, what the fuck does a casual mean? It means nothing. People there are there to adapt. People are there to learn the matchup to improve. The actual performance on the day of the tournament is all that matters. And I think because it used to be a deathmatch thing, which was huge, and I love death matches. But I think because tournament has made the game...
No, this is the main focus. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I'm
just
not saying
exactly.
That's what the
I
main
agree,
focus
and I totally
of
agree.
the game we play is now. It's the tournament. Death
Yes.
matches are like a thing of the past because
Yes.
you only do them online. And
Yes.
online means literally
Nothing now.
fuck all.
Yeah.
Literally. So...
With lag, with whatever, the new point system, with
Yeah.
whatever, man.
Nothing.
Like,
It's literally nothing. It's just smoke and mirrors. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all online.
mean,
is.
like,
and people
did
just
you-
stroke their EP-ness. That's it.
Did you see the post that I made about the post that I made on my Facebook? Where there was a photo of John Ding and Porkchop. They're standing up, and then the photo goes, "My friend just posted like something with like True Tekken God online, but can't make it out of pools in a major."
That's
And-
Porkchop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is like these like tough dudes just looking at you. Like that is exactly it. Like all these people are making high ranks. Okay, it doesn't matter, but prove yourself at a major.
Yeah, but Porkchop beat you.
Yes. He beat Hakayo after he beat me as well. That guy is actually that guy is actually very good. That guy is actually very good. Yeah. A lot of respect to Porkchop.
Yeah, I'm just saying. This stuff. Anything else we want to add? I feel we've been going
I
for 2
feel
hours
like-
and 21 minutes and 21
I feel
seconds.
like that's
and,
enough Tekken
and,
for one evening.
I don't care if you're bored.
Dude, I'm not bored. I'm just listening.
I'm
listening
It was great
intently,
fun for me.
you know?
And, get to call out some people, bring some spice to things. And, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, any closing words, Dion,
Closing
before we wrap
words?
the show up?
No, I think it's good that we're still having rivalry between the states. It's good that I think a lot of players have improved now, and there will be more rivalry coming up. So in the next major event, I will be officially New South Wales.
Oh! Talk to him!
So so I've been here for a while. I love the Melbourne guys. I love you all. But for next major, I will officially be representing New South Wales.
Brisbane can have the JMK. Melbourne can have the Aiken. Sydney, we got
Yes,
our Dion.
Melbourne can definitely have Aiken.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Which I will not be associated with.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I mean it's good because I think Navid is really strong, and
Very
I
strong.
think very strong, complete different style. Like I think one thing you need to understand about Navid though, and he is not an Australian player, hands down. Like he's good, so good, but he's not an Australian player. I mean, when I talk to him, this guy's probably been playing the game longer than me, and he's like in his early 20s. He's been playing for like a long time. Navid is a very talented player as well, and he's had a lot of. He's grew up in an environment like Pakistan where players are good, and you were talking about Asim from EU.
Asim.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
from Pakistan.
apparently he's just like from what the Pakistan players tell me. He's like
Average.
he's an average
Yeah,
player
I
in
know.
Pakistan,
I
but
know.
when he goes to EU, he's like
He's dominant.
he's
I know.
fucking good. You know what I mean? Like, their environment is different. Their players are different. His style is different, and I think he's got a lot of things that we can pick up from the way he plays.
It's interesting that everyone in the chat's like not... All the Melbourne players aren't like, oh no, Dion's not Melbourne anymore. It's just like good interstate rivalries back.
I'm gonna be extra honest with you now. Like, and I told this to Dion a while ago. I feel Melbourne denounced Dion ages ago. I'm just being honest.
Was it the day you lost literally anything?
No, it was the day where like I feel Naveed became the new Dion to them.
Right.
Like, and they were like, well, Naveed is here now, and Dion doesn't live here now. So, personally, anyway,
that's good. I'm glad. Tekken is happening.
Well, yeah. Look, when I was in Melbourne, we've pushed the guys really hard to beat New South Wales. Now that I'm in New South Wales, I'll try to get everyone up and get the rivalry back.
It's gonna be sick.
Excellent.
It's gonna be sick because especially now because the two best players are split. Like, you know,
that's what you want.
It's
you want the good.
Because before we used to ask like who's the best, and then before Naveed came, and then everyone would be like, oh well, Sydney has like the biggest collective of good players, but the best player lives in Melbourne. You know, so it's Dion. But then Dion's in Sydney, and it's like, but he's from Melbourne, but he lives in Sydney. He's been living in Sydney. It gets complicated. Now all the pieces are where they stand. Abby has a question for you. Is like, what's with the VIX?
That is like a Thailand VIX thing, right? And that thing actually really puts you, when you're stressed, it actually really calms your mind.
Word.
Dimeback gave me Book gave it to everyone as a gift in one of the events that I went to. And I used it and I was like, man, this is really good for tournament. Dimeback uses it like, not just for tournament. Yeah, he walks around with it. Then, because the only thing that I always have in my tournament is water. I always make sure I have water between my matches because I think it just calms you down. Yeah, now it's water and VIX, so I use both of them to calm myself down, just get some thinking happening and play.
Well, one of the Street Fighter players, MFV, he carries with him bottled oxygen.
But he's a vampire.
Yeah.
He's like literally the master of vampires.
Oxygen, and like he inhales it between matches and that. Yeah, one time he almost didn't want to enter a tournament because they confiscated his oxygen when I think he went to some EU tournament or something.
Really?
So, yeah, he's like, if I can't find, I'm not going to enter the tournament.
All right, we're going to put a bow on this.
So,
if we're talking about Masters of Vampires, I think we're
we're good.
One. But it's good to know that the Tekken scene's in a good place. It's good to know the rivalries are coming back. Definitely, as things get spicier, maybe as BAM approaches next year, we'll have to get you. But we'll have to get you back on against Dion.
It's a bit sad that. Actually, very fucking sad that there was no OHN this year, so we couldn't settle a lot of these rivalries. So it looks like we're gonna have to wait till May for BAM. But the good thing is, fucking a lot of time for people to fucking level up and get ready, and it's gonna be a lot of talking. So I'm looking forward to the walking. So
a lot of talking.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Just like you can find here every fortnight.
Every fortnight
on twitch.tv/Gamera. That's where we host IDEP Live. You can catch the archives later at youtube.com/Gamera and on podcast services everywhere. This is our penultimate episode for the year. I think the next episode we'll be I guess the Capcom Cup
recap.
So
we'll have some Street Fighter players.
Cap Cucks in and we'll sit around and pinch our nipples and talk about bad matchups.
Yeah, it'll be on the 18th.
Yeah.
And we won't have an episode on January 1st because I'll most probably be still drunk off my tits.
So we've got one more episode while we're together before I go back to Japan. So I guess
we'll be
tune into that one. We'll probably we don't know. We'll figure that out. So make sure you're following twitch.tv/Gamera. We got affiliates. So if anyone has any ideas about like emotes, whatever you want to do, that let us know. But Dion,
how sick is this shirt?
This has been a sick shirt. But Dion, man, it's been real. It's been like
it's been good.
Heavy episode, and I think by the numbers, you've killed it. So, I think that's going to do it for us this week.
Cut the stream. We're done.
Keep your friends close and say nice things online to each other and do training mode. But I don't know. Any
Tekken's the fucking goat. Don't get it twisted.
All right,
cut it.
See you guys next week or in fortnight. Bye.